I happen to believe all that I read about Antarctica. So if anybody ever wants to research Antarctica, it's always a fun rabbit hole to do. I mean, do you believe a lot of that stuff or no?
It's my favorite part of the Truman Show is when Truman goes, I want to be an explorer when I get older. And the teacher pulls down the globular map and goes, you're too late. There's nothing left to explore. You know, and he sits back down like, and that's kind of true. Like, I think we're born, we have traits, you know, we want love, we want this, we have hunger. Exploration is one of them. And we're quickly taught in school, knock that shit off. There's no such thing anymore. You can't explore. Everything's big sports, shut the fuck up. Pay your taxes and shut up.
This is pure, not tainted, normal,
Pure love.
total normal. That's why they
energy.
only live for a little while, right? That's what. Did you ever hear that thing that lady said? The mom was like freaking the fuck out, and the daughter or the son was like, "No, mama, it's okay. They only live they only live for about 10 years because they already know how to love and receive love. We need 100 years to figure it out."
Yep.
That's so sad. It's so true.
Very, very knowledgeable guy.
Bunch of assholes. But not us, though. We already, but maybe that's why, no, we have to still live long. I'm going to say that I still don't know how to love or receive love so that I can live for 100 years.
Well, I'm a soldier of God in my heart, and God needs me here, so I'll be here.
Me too. I want to make sure that this
It's just God needs me here. I'll be doing this till I'm 100 if I can. I'll do it to 200 if you let me. So
Me too.
as long as I can sit and work on a computer and edit, I'll always do it.
Well, I think that with this last movie that you did, Climate Trails, that was, at first when I was watching, and that's why we're here, everyone, we're talking about Climate Trails, but of course I want to talk about everything else
For sure.
that he's done because it's all crazy. This is Sean Hibbeler. You can see it on his shirt. I wear my brand on my shirt, Ultrafree.
Love Ultrafree.
That's Hibbeler Productions. And getting right into Climate Trails.
Sure.
At first when I was watching it, first of all, when I saw that there was even a trailer for a film like this, I was freaking out because I was like, okay, is this going to be controlled opposition or is this going to be the real thing? Because I know right now in society at this very moment, because so many of us are talking about it. And I think that with this thing, which I have right here, in the middle of everything, it's like this massive information highway, which I'm not sure we're going to have access to as much information. I don't think we've been fully censored yet. I think it's coming. I think it's coming with the Oracle.
With who's buying social media?
Yes, I think it's the second day of Trump's administration. I think it was pretty clear that we just brought in the Trojan horse. So eventually, I know. Eventually, we're not going to be able to find any information on anything. So right now, I'm in the middle of just downloading and just buying every freaking book. I feel like we're about to have another reset, which they've all been, everything about the reset.
With the old
other
rules,
movie. Yeah. But we'll talk about that after. But Climate Trails, I wasn't sure if it would be controlled op because there have been a lot of articles coming out about it. And I read them. My friends send them to me. People that are even, in political spots. They're like, look at this. Look how great. They're really trying to expose it. And I'll read it and I'll send it to a few of my other friends who are a lot smarter than I am. And I'm like, am I reading bullshit? Am I reading nothing? Just fucking big words that'll confuse everybody? And they're like, yeah, there's nothing in this article at all.
That's
and
what they do.
The thing about your film is like, it is about that conspiracy theory that people call a conspiracy theory, which it clearly is not. It's for beginners.
Yes.
Your film is for beginners. And I interviewed Dane Wigington, and I was trying to get it broken down for idiots because I consider myself an idiot who's just trying to figure everything out.
He's for me, like Dane's like advanced information. He has so much advanced.
But yours goes there, and it goes
Little. Yeah.
It goes there towards the second half of the film. I was like, I told you, I started crying. I started crying when I listened to Francis Engels. Is that
Mangles?
Mengels.
Yes. Yep.
talking in the end. It is, I feel like there's nothing to talk about politically, culturally, all of these things that are going on in the world right now. And I said this when I was helping with the elections and stuff, which I was really helping more for Robert Kennedy, not as much for Trump. But then when he joined Trump, I said, okay, this must be where we should just direct our energy for now. And like you said, if you had a gun to your head, you would choose Republican at this point.
Of course.
But
I picked neither.
yeah, me too. I especially now.
Yeah.
And I never have until Biden and Trump, but those were the 2 times I ever voted, which is crazy because I voted opposite both times. And I was always against all of it.
You felt bad for the senile, that's all. You had a place a special place in your heart for the old man.
I listened to my kids that were like, we have to pick the lesser of 2 evils. And I was like, oh God, I'm going to listen to the kids, but maybe that, they have insight. I don't know. And I did. Never again. But then I listened to my kids the second time around too. And it was a whole different, it was interesting to watch how open their minds are. Not a lot of people's, but these kids are, because they live in a household where any idea can exist. But with your film, it was, first of all, I want to know why you wanted to make. I mean, I know what your history is of all your documentaries that are all like, some of them are shorter, some of them are full length, about just the truth, about tons of different topics. But why did you want to do the climate thing? Just, why?
A really quick break to say we're glad you found the Ultrafree Podcast and hope you're enjoying this episode. A great way to support the podcast is to head over to the Ultrafree website to buy merch. Link in the show notes below. We have cool hats and hand-screened t-shirts, and we'd love to see you in them. So buy a few. Take photos and tag us on your socials to spread the Ultrafree vibes. Like and subscribe and leave comments when you have them. And remember, we don't need to be right. We just need to be free. Ultrafree. Now back to the episode.
Well, it was a time where, I've known about geoengineering, chemtrails for many, many years, at least 10, 12 years. And once I made Old Order, like in my head, I was like, well, what's next? I dabbled with a few other things for other projects, but like for myself, I'm like, I got together with my team. We started our new network, the Enlighten Network. And we're like, what's a good passion project to kind of get us out and running, get us out in the public? I'm like, well, geoengineering, because there's over 30 states trying to ban it right now. I think it's a hot topic. And it really boiled down to, can I get a hold of the state rep in Tennessee that was the first man to push it through, Monty Fritz? He's the first man in the country to get the bill passed and put pressure on Governor Lee to get it passed, at least to raise the awareness. I said, this is a perfect time because, if I made a film on chemtrails even 5 years ago, it would have been laughed at, still kind of like, oh, this is a loopy conspiracy thing. But now it's like, we have receipts.
I still think we're idiots though.
But then they're idiots because,
I know.
Again, more than half the country, the states, are banning it, are in the process of banning it. Now, Tennessee and Florida have already banned it. The problem with the ban, I know, the problem with the ban is the airspace situation. But at the same time, it raises awareness. So let's just say, we're in California, good luck with that. But let's just pretend that California bans geoengineering. Well, now there is no, I guess for me, there's no more conspiracy about it. They're banning it. Whether you think it's real or not, why wouldn't you get behind banning it? Because if they're spraying aluminum in the sky and barium and strontium, well, it's a 2-part system to me. It's not just that it's poisoning us, we're breathing in the stuff, because aluminum, it's worse to inhale it than even eat it. So, and we all know what they're putting in that's a lot of aluminum. So we're getting it from all angles, but we can control these. We can control those. Wow. And meaning it's from the most part.
Yeah, the reason why I the reason why I'm even in this is because I felt like I lost my house over not getting vaccinated.
I know. People, and it's sad when it's like they force it, but it's still not forced at the same time, right? But with geoengineering, when you look up and see this, now again, granted today it's clear blue sky. I guess the airports are closed today, guys, because the people that think they're just contrails, like, no, they're just well, where are the contrails today? Because American Airlines is still operating, Delta is still operating in the sky, but yet we have a clear blue sky. Yet when it comes to geoengineering, your sky has X's just floating all over it, and it turns into this yellow film. It's like the people that just rule it as contrails, it's like, well, what's going on today? I guess the airports are closed. There's nothing in the sky. You would see it every day.
Something. He said government shutdown means no chemtrails.
Huge.
Yeah, or something like that.
That's huge. That massive.
But all the private... Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're all talking about it now. That's why I thought they were going to try to normalize it. So I was like, this guy, is he controlled up? This guy, is he a new one on the block that they're going to put out there? And then I started looking at all your other films and I was
Been around the block.
oh, this motherfucker is not controlled.
I'm the definition of grassroots.
Shit.
I'm the definition of grassroots with this. I've done everything up to this point because now I have my network and a great team. But before that, it's always just been Hibbeler Productions. It's just been me editing on my laptop, putting it out for the world. And it's been a struggle, because in 2020, when, I was working at a club in LA and we were the last one to close from the lockdown bullshit and I was fighting it. And I'm just like, holy shit, what is going on? How am I supposed to make income now? Yeah. Now, I was already doing these short projects, like I said, like these little short films on YouTube and stuff, getting a lot of views, a lot of traction. I made a big one on Michael Jackson as well that blew up. And
I watched.
Did you watch that?
I watched one of them. I don't know.
Entering Neverland.
The right one. That I loved it.
Yeah.
I never followed the Michael Jackson story ever. I never knew anything about it. I just didn't want to know because he was the king of pop. I had met him when I was younger. I think it might have been actually at a Puff Daddy party. Because we all were at the MTV Awards, and it was like a big party after. It was like it wasn't anybody's house.
It was before the Baby Oil came out, or
yeah, this was a giant party that was like, it was an MTV party.
I get it.
So it was like one of those things. So I don't know. You grew up with Michael Jackson, and you follow that story your whole life, and then all of these. And I never followed it though. I never followed that part of it. I didn't want to.
Well, it's because it's bullshit. That's why.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I watched it.
That's something. Like I said, you got sad with climate trails at the end, but the short project I made, Entering Neverland, free on YouTube, Rumble, that should make you happy. Because a lot of us, we grew up with Mike, we didn't want it to be true, and then when you find out it's not, you're like, oh God, thank God. Like they just pinned all that on him, and They Don't Care About Us came at a time where it wasn't being talked about, and now, yeah, it's like I can't open Twitter without They Don't Care About Us with the music of something that's going on in the Middle East, right? Because Michael knew back then. He also made a song called something about Palestine, Cry for Palestine or something like that. And they didn't let him release it. The label didn't want him to record it, but they did release the lyrics. And I think it was a part 2 to remember the song that Free Willy captured.
No.
It's what's it called? It's like Hold Me Like the River Jordan.
Was it him?
It was Michael Jackson. One of his biggest songs.
Oh yes, I do know that song.
They gave it to Free Willy, so now the public thinks, oh, you mean the Free Willy song? No, the song was about Palestine.
I didn't know that.
The River Jordan. Part 2 to he had a part 2 to that, and his label was like, absolutely not, because it was anti-Israel. So they were like, no, you're too big. You're bigger than anyone in the world. You can't be talking like that.
Yeah.
And then, when They Don't Care About Us came out, he was very vocal in those lyrics.
I have to go back and listen to all of this.
Well, I don't know what I can say on here.
You can say whatever you want.
He says,
we don't even have a show yet.
He says things like Jew me, sue me, kick me, hike me. Yeah. So that was unheard of back then. That was the first time I had a Michael Jackson album. There was words censored. I'm like, what are they censoring?
He was mad.
It was because of that. And all of a sudden he's a pedophile in the news, and we know who controls the news. So they were just completely.
So you didn't touch on that in the documentary.
No,
you didn't go that far.
I didn't go that far. I just wanted to, because the FBI investigated it for so long and they found nothing. It's like, well, what are we talking about? It's a story that they do. But getting back to climate trails.
I want to go back to Michael Jackson.
We'll get back. We'll do more Michael Jackson.
Was he killed? Do you think he was killed? I always thought that both Prince and I think everybody has these ideas about Chris Cornell,
Chester
Bennington,
Bennington, sorry.
Bourdain, like all of these guys.
I was 50-50 with Mike. The 50% of me is, he was murdered. There was something that they put a hit on him, and they brought in some outside doctor, and they just drugged him up and killed him. That's 50% of me. But the other 50%, which is the conspiracy investigation,
thinks he's alive.
In a sense, I don't know, but he could have died yesterday in a car accident. So I don't claim someone's alive without receipts. But just the whole death itself and investigating it like crazy. And like, I was like the only one back then investigating this. And there was just so many things that made me believe that like he planned this all. Like he wanted to get away from it all. And he knew they were after him. So he possibly, there's a lot to that. I could send you that another day.
Wait, I like this story.
I know.
The king is somewhere. Do you think Jim Morrison is somewhere?
See, that's what I mean. So that's why I don't like talking about it, because every time I talk about Michael Jackson could have potentially faked his death for his own safety, I hear where is he, with Elvis, with Tupac? It's like, no, that's different.
Well,
when you look at the Elvis
conspiracy too, I don't know that.
I looked into that, and he's dead. In my opinion, for my investigation, Tupac's dead, Elvis is dead. All these people are dead that they want to link into, they're all on an island somewhere. But Michael was different for me. I mean, I put a lot of...
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No.
Oh, what are you
into
that? Oh, it's too early to get into that.
I mean, I got people sending me shit all fucking day about the Charlie Kirk thing. And it's mind-blowing. It just doesn't stop. The information doesn't stop flowing of the different ideas and the fear.
This is one of the first events in a long time that there's like 10 conspiracies in one. And I think they want it that way.
Of course.
Because if everybody's fighting over what really happened, then how do you get to the truth?
But that's the other thing, though. Like, does anyone really even care? That's society right now. Like, when it happened, me and my kids were mortified. My brother had just died, and then he died the next day.
My brother died a few weeks before Charlie did, too.
Oh, crazy. And my brother liked Charlie Kirk a lot. Like, my brother is a, super Christian, and he was dying and all that stuff. And he died, they died a day apart, maybe it was.
Oh, wow.
So my son was completely destroyed because he watched the video. He came into my room and told me. And I was like, not now. I'm packing to get us to New York. We had to rush to New York. And I was just like, I can't deal with that. And I couldn't believe what he was even telling me, because I've been to a lot of those. I've been to that event. I know that whatever, I do want to know what your opinions about it.
Sure.
But my earthly experience of what was happening during that time in my life was my daughter wanted to go see somebody speak at that event, and she didn't know what the event was, and she didn't know what AmFest or Turning Point. I didn't know anything about that stuff. I am a super psycho liberal. So now my kid is like, I want to go see the speaker. So I texted someone I knew who was one of the main speakers there, and I said, can you help get us in? And he put me in touch with Charlie, and they took care of us, and we went, and it changed my life. Like, I knew in that moment that it was okay that I wasn't vaccinated, that it was okay that I felt like we were headed in the right direction hearing everybody speak there. And it sounded like the conservatives were really trying to crack open what was happening here on planet Earth, and that there was a changing of the guard, maybe like a real change. Like, this is not politics as usual. Right now, we're about to head into the conservatives were letting me come in, who's a psycho progressive liberal, and like this, we need to convert people. Like, not convert, because I don't want to make it sound radicalized, even though everything is always radicalized. But I felt like I was finally safe somewhere, and that I could still be myself, and I felt safer with conservatives. And all of a sudden, I knew that I wasn't like, and then I had to eventually save my house. So I did the OnlyFans thing. And then that's where I became a man without an island. Because then when I wanted to sell Ultrafree merch at the second turning point, they said no. They said, but we love you and we will pay for you to be there, but our donors will shit the bed because of the OnlyFans thing. So I was slightly pissed, but they still, he took care of us and put us in, our hotel and everything like that when we were there. So it changed my life. It changed my kids' life. It changed the lives of the friends of mine that went with us. We were all super liberals. And it was a really emotional turning point in our lives. But I wonder if turning point was something that was in full effect for many years at this point. And it really had nothing to do with all of my earthly experiences that I had.
It's possible. I feel like we're never going to get answers until we seek them, but it's hard because they're making it hard for us to find the truth on that. But we can all agree on one thing: the official narrative on the Kirk event is just complete bullshit. And
Well, either someone doesn't give a fuck about him or he's still alive.
it's fit. Another thing, I'm kind of 50-50 on that. It's hard to say, oh yeah, he's still alive and he was a part of all this whole stage thing, because then what you get right away is, well, where are your receipts? Where is he? Why would he do this? Blah, blah, all these things where if you can't answer it, don't open your mouth. So
But what if he did it for himself, like Michael Jackson?
Well,
There's that theory.
yeah, but in the way this all went down and the way it's kind of going now, it seems like that if he did do it, it would be because, in my opinion, he was a part of this whole cabal where they want, like, this was planned in advance, staged. If he was a part of it, it was to make this whole left versus right. They just want us fighting. That's what they want.
Right.
They want this political war because while Americans are fighting left, right, they can do whatever they want to the rest of the world. And they are doing what they want to the rest of the world while we are distracted at all times.
I mean,
Now, this is a huge distraction either way.
yes, it is.
Huge.
But the kids, the youth that are not tied into Turning Point, that side, they're very savage. Like this is, to see that side of people come out. We saw it during, election time too, in the last 4 years. But seeing that particular part of society act so unbelievably, it's like primitively. I don't even have words for it. It's so ugly. It's so scary to see all these people cheering on murder of any kind.
Regardless of Charlie's being alive, dead, or what stage or not, I completely condemn that. There's no reason that anyone should celebrate a murder of anyone, especially that, like, it's not like Charlie was a dictator or someone killing off innocent people. It'd be different if, like, it was Netanyahu that got it, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't wish death on anyone, but
Yeah.
if Netanyahu was popped and people were celebrating it, it's not, it feels a little different at that point because someone that's bad and evil is gone. So I can kind of grasp the celebration in a sense, but someone like Charlie that was just debating and trying to educate children, it's like,
I mean, the message was a good message for the most part. I mean, it was about
correct. Most
having
of his
discourse.
ideas.
I didn't agree with everything.
I agree with most of his stuff that he says.
Yeah.
Some of it I didn't, of
Sometimes
course.
the container wasn't always, sometimes it might have been a little pointed or whatever. But like, listen, I can listen to Tucker Carlson talk all day because I enjoy listening to him talk. But I know that for some people to hear that, and this is considering that nobody is being fucking controlled on some level. If it's just like this I'm a regular audience member and these are my regular values here on earth, then I can listen to this.
Mhm.
But now I'm looking at everything like very differently. I'm like, who can be trusted here? Like, I'm really paying attention to every tiny nuance because are these white hats, black hats? Like, I do think that that's really what's going on nonstop anyway. I don't think anybody is. It's still all fucking theater. I mean,
Well, it's kind of one of these things too, where when you see someone just rise to the top and millions of views and millions of fans, it's like, I have been censored and shadow banned from everything I've ever done.
yeah.
That's the real way. When you're grassroots and no one's above you but God, no one's in control of anything, this is what happens from that. So when I see people that are supposedly supposed to be trusted and, oh, they're real, and it's like, how are they so big? So big. So it's not jealousy, because I wouldn't want to be as big as some of these people if I could, but it's the fact that I am being censored and banned at all times and they are not. So that's when, like, for me, I have to take a step back and question it. And even with the Kirk event, a lot of people have emotions at all-time high, because when you first see what happens, it's, oh my God, and your emotions are here, your logic is here. We have to switch that up.
But letting that fly all across social media and YouTube, when you know that they have the capacity to not, Let it fly?
and blur it. And they just wanted everyone to see it. Kind of like the stabbing on the train. They want people to see it. That's the first time in my lifetime where they're promoting it without blurring it and censoring it. They're like, couldn't open social media without blood everywhere. I'm like, when has this ever happened before? Usually it's
all programming.
Yeah, it is. And why? But why? That's the question. Why did they want us all to see it? And it's kind of like with 9/11 where it's universal trauma. We all saw it happen, right? No, I'm kind of different with 9/11 because I don't even really even believe in the planes themselves. Like it's
Okay, because I'm gonna say something about that. But
Sure.
I watched your little piece on it, and I had to call a couple of my friends afterwards. I was like, dude,
Oh, you saw 9/11 that I made.
yes,
Spelling out NINE11. That like
Yes.
yeah.
yes,
Crazy. I'm glad you saw that.
I watched a bunch of them. I was like, oh my god, this guy's all over the fucking place. I dig it.
That was a while
But
ago.
Climate Chills was the one that got me like straight into all your stuff. And then I saw Old World Order, and that is possibly going to become an obsession of mine because an Old World Order for, I guess, sort of going through the history of architecture and trying to find all of the loopholes in there that don't really make sense. And you deal with so much stuff in that film, from the possibility of directed energy weapons back then. All those fires in the 1900s. I'm getting ahead of myself. But where was I now? Not 9/11.
Yeah.
9/11. So my mom called me up at something 8 o'clock in the morning in New York. She goes, Drea, go downstairs. A plane just hit the World Trade Center. So me and my boyfriend ran downstairs, and we were flipped out. I lived on 2nd Avenue and St. Mark's, which, by the way, that building was set on fire, exploded, and fell down as well.
There's a lot that did
2015.
that. Oh, a different day.
2015. But it's just so weird because I've had a fire like all of these crazy fires. I am a victim of a fire, losing absolutely everything I have, and I'm very disconnected from it in a weird way because I wasn't there. But I was here, thank God. But 9/11, we went downstairs and we're on 2nd Avenue, so we see the World Trade straight from our street, and we're standing on the sidewalk watching, and we're like, holy shit. And my memory, my whole life has been that I said to him, holy shit, here comes another plane. We are under attack. That's what I remember. And so I called my girlfriend and I go, yo, you were there. And I have a friend who also has cancer from being there, from helping at Ground Zero the whole time. I never went down there once. Because when I sat on my doorstep afterwards and I started to watch everybody walking through 2nd Avenue to get home, the people that couldn't get home any other way, they started walking up 2nd Avenue. And they were zombies. And they were all men in suits, and they were holding their briefcases, and they were covered in white. They were white, white ash. And I sat there, and I had just watched, in my mind, I watched that plane hit the fucking building live, not on TV. I watched it live. But then when I watch your thing, I'm like, wait a minute, of course the nose of a plane is going to be crushed. The minute a plane hits that steel fucking building on impact, that plane is going to fall to fucking pieces.
Yeah, a bird will dent it.
Yes, I saw that in your...
Just a little bird hitting it, this huge dent, and they want us to believe that
it went through those steel girders or whatever the fuck it was made of.
Emotion, logic. Remember, that's just how they get us.
Yeah.
They drive the emotion up, where whatever they say is the gospel. No one uses logic. It takes a long time to get your emotion out of it and look at it differently now, and then use logic and go, wait a minute, how can that just go? And when you start adding that up, then I went back to the drawing board, and I realized that live composite CGI is a thing. And there was a helicopter. I did show it. There was 2 helicopter angles, wide angles, where you don't see a plane come into view whatsoever, but the building explodes. And one of them, which they completely scrubbed from any documentaries, anything mainstream, where it was a live news channel, like a local news TV, a helicopter up there filming the wide angle. And as soon as he zooms in, keeps zooming in on the building. All of a sudden the plane comes in. It's like, wait a minute, zoom back out. There's no plane in the sky. And apparently this was a guy that was a live CGI composite expert that was in the chopper. So if you know what a mask is in video editing, a mask is where you kind of line it up, and anything that goes here, it stops, right?
Yeah.
So you line it up. But if he swayed a little bit too much at the end with the chopper, and that's when you see, they call it Pinocchio's nose, where you see the same nose of the plane that was going into the building, and he moved the mask and it goes through the building. It's the same exact nose, which is another impossibility going through reinforced steel. There's just a lot of, and they make it so hard for someone like me to even talk about, you say out to the public, oh, there weren't planes that day. You're just written off.
Well, what about the passengers on the plane? I never even looked into that.
Who are they? Can you name any?
I don't know.
That's
I'm
my point.
asking you.
You should be able to. You should be able to, and when you look at, like, some people say, no, I think 2020 or Oprah had one family on or something. Yeah, it's crisis actors. It's so easy.
Yeah.
We should all know the names. There should be remembrances, memorials. All these families should have been coming forward talking about they lost their husband, they lost their grandma, they lost their child. Nothing. Not even then. There was really nothing coming out about it. They just kind of, And then you got the one that just crashed at, Pennsylvania. There's a big hole in the ground. No plane parts anywhere. And that one was not really marketed. They just said, another plane crashed over here. Going back to New York now, it's like, no, wait, hold on, another plane crash here. A bunch of families died here. Well, what are we talking about? Let's investigate this. And I put some of the clips in my 9/11 short doc where there was people on site in Pennsylvania going, we didn't see a plane. There's no plane parts. We have no idea what happened. It's like, well, what do you mean? You work there. You didn't see a plane crash on your site? And then the whole thing with the Pentagon. And it's just...
Yeah, that one was definitely sus. Because, just all those people, all that footage of them running around, moving stuff around. What was it?
It just seems like the whole, like, for me personally, 9/11 itself was pre-planned, predetermined. There was a lot of outside entities that had their hands on it. And it was one of the biggest false flags in the history of mankind. And it worked for the most part. Now, there are questions now.
That was another turning point.
Yeah. There are questions now that people have over the last 10 years about, inside job and Israel being involved. And so people are talking about the grand scheme of things. But when you zone in on the whole thing was a sham. The planes, everything that you saw, it was on TV. There's people on the ground running for their lives, being stopped by the news. Did you see the plane? And they're confused. What plane? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
the building exploded. I was standing there. The building exploded twice.
They heard nonstop
and then they
explosions.
came down to controlled demolition. All the firemen agree it was controlled demolition. And then building 7 falls, a hotel fell. All these other buildings are just collapsing. And you have nothing but rubble. But yet, they find a passport. We know who did it. If that's not a bad movie script, I don't know what is.
Why is Tucker talking about all of the... I'm surprised that I haven't gone all the way into his little mini doc. Oh, where the fuck are you going? But so far what I've seen was a lot of focus on the actual players that were listed, and I'm like, now I'm confused. Like, now I'm like, because I would think that coming out was about to be something that was way more revealing than that. Do you ever see this documentary? I can't remember the guy's name. He's French, or she, Guyenot or something.
What's the documentary called?
Fuck, I don't remember. It was about 9/11, and they also did one about Kennedy and his brother, RFK and JFK. And that one's great. The one about 9/11 has so much information in it because my son wants to know everything about all of this, and I want to give him that one. But I'm like, you're never going to follow this because you're not going to know who any of these fucking people are. And it is deep. It is so deep and conclusive. And the way you connect the dots to all of these different people, it's mind-blowing.
Is this documentary still blaming a man in a cave directing this whole event?
I don't think it is.
Bin Laden.
Is there any truth? Did you ever hear this theory? Mike Osman?
I've heard the name.
I don't know that he was a CIA operative.
There you go.
Tim Osman?
Yeah. Well, when you look at the picture of Tim Osman and Osama bin Laden,
we're going deep into the motherfucking
pretty much the same person.
What, is that guy real?
Seems like it. It seems like he was involved in our CIA or one of those, ABC companies. And again, this is the same thing. They bring someone in, they throw a beard on him, they put him in a probably an American studio, or it looks like he's in a cave in Afghanistan. And, you know, you got CNN reporters sitting next to this guy that killed, you know, it's a show. It's all theater. But I think especially from the moon landings and on, all of these events that they're faking, there's a lot of reasons behind it. They don't just do it to do it because they're sinister. They know that they're trying to mold the minds of a nation. They're trying to control us because this is, you know, if the whole world's a prison, we're the best prison camp. America's the best. But they're trying to get to us. They've been trying to get to us forever through media, through brainwashing, through movies, through everything. And it does work for the most part, but it seems like nowadays with this grand awakening that's been going on for about maybe 10 years, it's getting out of control. I don't think they're going to be able to really pull it off here, and they're going to continue to do things. And I think that's why they get creative with things, whether if Charlie Kirk was one of them or not. They try to get creative with these false flags and events to really stir the pot, because there's people that are, you know, conspiracy-minded, critical thinkers, and they still believe the official story of Kirk. And it's like, okay, we're going backwards now if that's the case. We're supposed to all be investigative type of critical thinkers and not just follow. Like for me, anything the news says, if it's a major headline, it is guilty until proven innocent. I have to flip it on them because all they do is lie. So if I see legitimacy based on a mainstream news article, then it's legitimate. But a lot of them aren't. And people, you know.
The fact that they covered it, first of all, I was really surprised at how much coverage it got, because leading up to the election in the last 3 years, I really didn't see Charlie Kirk on the news very much. I know he was very instrumental in helping, you know, Trump and being a whole part of that whole thing, but he wasn't that famous to the youth of America if they weren't on board with him. I mean, I guess social media.
So that's what I was going to say. Social media, very famous.
I never would have known who he was. My kids would have never known had they not been.
He's all over social media though.
Now, for years, really?
He was, yeah.
See, I was surprised because he wasn't really on the news that much.
No, because the news, in my opinion, the mainstream news, that's still for the mass wearers. That's still for the ones getting their 8th booster. So they still need to cater to their audience. Their audience is shrinking.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Rogan gets more views than any news ever wished they ever could.
So now they have to manipulate us.
They have to. But they also come in and they know what is going on in the world. They know, why do you think Trump went to Rogan? He went on a Rogan show. Vance went to Rogan. They have to go, we have to do this because this is the crowd and audience that we need to sway, right? So I look at it like this, because for me, even the Trump assassination, completely fake, completely false flag. Completely fake. I mean, why do you have Rosie O'Donnell as your security guard that day? Like, well, what are you doing? We could start there, but just the whole thing to me is staged, right? But I look at it like this, Dre. I look at it like this. It was so bad, the Trump one, right? Even Trumpers are like, what the hell's going on? This looks fake. Okay, well, they fucked that up, right? Not everyone's perfect. They tried, they fucked it up. It's not perfect. So I look at it like they're looking at it as their camp. We have to do something else. We have to make it work. Maybe some Hollywood special effects. We have to do something, and we have to sell it better to drive what we're trying to do to this country. And then they roll this Kirk thing out. Again, granted, if he's dead, I'll be the first to apologize for even mentioning anything opposite of that. But I'm too much of a critical thinker to just fall for it in that sense.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't feel it. I don't feel like I think he's here.
Yeah.
And I just wonder what the play was.
We'll see him in Valhalla.
Yeah. Brother.
Go Rhode Island.
I was really fooled by him too.
Did you see the Tyler Robinson
the photograph?
Patsy, right? Where the
TV screen?
Island of Valhalla.
So that TV, was that an original photo? Was that the actual?
See, when I posted it on social media, I had people just left and right coming in on my DMs like, you, meaning blaming me, you photoshopped that. I'm like, dude, it's all over. You can Google Tyler Robinson's name, MSNBC, CNN, this is the same photo. I didn't Photoshop anything. They're the ones using this photo.
Yes.
Whether it was alternate or not, I can't say, but all mainstream outlets were using the same photo with a picture of Valhalla Island behind them.
So what is the Valhalla Island?
Apparently it's like this.
I mean, I know
secret.
the Viking Valhalla.
I know.
But that's.
Apparently this is the island where we don't have access to go in there. The public, we can't just go there and
What is it, behind Antarctica?
Yeah, right.
Where is it?
It's that way. It might have the same restrictions in a sense. It's not a treaty per se, but it's just a place. Where was it, Nate?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. So it's the
Masonic, Danish, Masonic.
it's a Masonic area board, like very highly secured in New Zealand. And then there's rumors coming out that that's like the main witness protection program type of spot that they would bring anyone like Charlie or anyone in this instance where they're safe now. And then I just look at what the Charlie thing, for people going, well, I don't understand why you think that this was fake or he didn't die that day. And for me, it's reality. He gets shot in the neck, starts bleeding out, he falls down. That's the end of the blood. Because when they're picking him up, carrying him off, not only are Charlie's white shoes white and his t-shirt still white, no blood's dripping off him as they're carrying him in this SUV that's ready to go. Yeah. No police came, no ambulance came. That's an impossibility. You're at a college campus. That's an impossibility for outside here.
Yeah.
Just in the street. Ambulance and police are coming. Caution tape line, they're lining it up.
Crazy.
None of that happened. And then they dig up the site the next day, there, right?
I know. They covered it with pavement. But was there really a little square door there?
Yeah, but that was off to the side. I don't. Again, there's a lot of honeypot conspiracies in this.
Well, there's that too.
A lot of them.
I never knew anything about her. But what was the deal with was there a Dairy Queen?
Yeah, apparently that he, on his way back to running from what he just did, he stopped at Dairy Queen, and then they shut the Dairy Queen down, and it's just theater. They just keep it.
What's the play? I want to know what the motherfucking play is. I want to know.
Left First Right, which is going on now. They're fighting. They're, retaliation. I mean, look at Elon Musk's tweet right after Charlie's death. Elon Musk is like, something like, if we don't retaliate or respond, they're going to murder us all. It's like, well, they want that. They want us fighting left, right.
We still didn't really take the fucking bait here. Like so it's not really working. Is it fucking working? There's got to be a bigger play to this.
It's working in a sense. I mean, it's like, because we live in this world, but when you step outside, the mask wearers, the jab, all the rest of the country, because it's at least half that are just with all this shit. It's probably working for them. They're especially the hardcore right that's all about it, that nothing's fake. There's no false flags involved here. They're just Republicans, Democrats, by the book. Republicans are like, we got to get them back. They're the ones celebrating the death, and then they're going to start fighting. Now, has that happened yet? I don't know. I don't live in that world.
It's not. I don't think it's fucking working. I don't think it's working. I think the only thing that's working is spraying the fucking sky.
Yeah.
And
today, thank God.
Yeah, because
they knew it was coming.
Yes, they've been. It's been a little better. And when they don't spray the sky, it's like the only time I'll go for a walk today. I'll go out. I won't go outside, man.
I know. Well, that's my point, though. It's like when they are spraying, and you look at your neighbor, and you're like, you see this shit, and they're like, yeah, it's airplanes. Where are the airplanes? That's one of my joke always. It's like, I guess they close the airports, and where's your
It's the same neighbor who thinks that I'm a fucking white nationalist.
Yeah. Why would they think that?
They think that because I voted for Trump. And he's pro-Israel, so I don't know how that comes together.
Yeah, they're kind of contradicting.
They need to find something different to peg me with. And again, like we were saying, like I just don't want anything. I don't fucking buy any of them, including him at this point. Like, I am just, there's zero transparency. Even more so, there's zero transparency. He was just coming. I feel like my theory was early on was that he was blackmailed to usher in the fucking,
World War III, New World Order, whatever.
Coin, and then the biometric system for the CBCD, whatever the fuck it's called. So that was what I always thought was the case, because there was no way he could have gotten they couldn't have gotten half of the conservatives on board.
What if he's on the list?
Well, I mean, this fucking list too. I also think that goes even beyond the trafficking. I think it has a lot to do with real estate. But I could be wrong about that too. I really don't know a lot about a lot. I just kind of I watch movies like yours, and I'm like, oh, this guy feels the way I feel. Like, I don't really know why I feel the way I feel, but I feel the way I feel, and this is it.
Yeah.
I read up on a few things, but I don't really know what the fuck's going on. So I'm always asking questions. And, Yeah, that list. I mean, every fucking thing they promised with this administration and all the people they put in there, none of them are who they pretended to be. So we really got the fucking shaft.
Well, yeah, because they campaign that, if I'm president, or I'm going to jump into 9/11 and tell you the truth. I'm going to release the list and tell you all the names and arrest everybody. But it's the same thing with his first term. He's like, if I get in, I'm arresting Hillary on the spot. I'm arresting Obama.
But he had bad players around.
Probably hanging out with them all.
Yeah.
That's where I lay with this.
But in the beginning, I believed that he was surrounded by neocons. Yes. Who's Brett Weinstein's brother? Who was Eric Weinstein? What's it called when it's there's a name for it. I can't remember the fucking name. There's a very specific name for the theater of wrestling, and I forgot it. But he wrote a cool article about how this is nothing fucking but that.
I believe that. Yeah.
But 100%. But we bought it this time. How many of us are now? What's the percentage? The pie is being broken down into a bazillion different groups. Now everyone's scattered and against each other. Nobody wants to come together.
And they're confused. Everybody's confused.
Well, the fucking sky spray will keep us confused all day. And I think that's where it all needs to start. I know that might sound absolutely fucking crazy.
Not to me.
Dane Wigington will say this too. He's like, there's no point in fucking trying to analyze anything that's happening on this planet, including even the wars at this point, unless you're dealing with the fact that the actual planet is going to fucking collapse if we don't save what's left of it. So the climate change deniers are wrong. The climate change enforcers are wrong. Everybody's fighting over this politicized version of the climate.
Which is why I called it climate trails.
I know. And he hates the word chemtrails.
Yeah.
Because to me, he's like the master of the whole movement.
It's the same thing. I hate the word flat earth.
Well, he won't say it because he says that people automatically go to conspiracy theories.
Correct. Same thing.
Yeah. So that's when you named it climate trails, I was also very much like, oh, I see. It's cool.
It takes a long time for me to come up with the name of a film. It's that important to me. It'll take me weeks.
I liked the realize.
Realize.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Did you watch that?
Oh, I don't know. Is that the NASA one?
Yeah, the NASA one.
Yes, I did watch. I watched some of that. But at that point, the kids were all hanging out with me and I wasn't able to focus too much. All I know is that my son was like, the NASA emblem is the tongue of a reptile.
Well, it's
and I was like,
snake. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about it too. When NASA's doing their rocket launches and people, I don't even know if people watch it. I've watched probably more than people that believe in it.
I watched the SpaceX shit.
Yeah.
They come right back. They're just like
like that. Yeah. But when you watch the NASA ones, they always say it is very distinct. They have to say it every time. T minus NASA and then the time, right? T minus.
What is that?
It's just something that they now they're trying to make it seem like it's like the time that they're taking off. So T minus 10 minutes and it's 10 minutes until they take off. But they always say T minus NASA, T minus NASA. So NASA minus the T.
Oh.
So if you put a T into NASA, now you can spell Satan with it.
I see.
And then you got the serpent tongue and all that. And a lot of people don't know that NASA was started by just evil people. I mean,
yeah.
Like Nazi traitors,
yeah.
And you got Jack Parsons, Walt Disney had his hand in it. And you have all these people come together to create this program. And if you look back in the day, I mean, my buddy Dave Weiss, he's interviewed a lady, this was years ago, but she was, I think, 105 years old. But I mean, really, her brain was perfect, right? Which is rare. And they were just talking about the World Fairs for the old world. He was just trying to get information. He was at a retirement home.
The World Fairs is fucking amazing.
He was trying to get information from her regarding the World Fairs and the old world and all that. And he just, at the very end of the interview, he asked her, hey, just randomly, because he didn't want to stir shit up. He was just like, just real quick. Her name was Rose. He goes, hey, Rose, or Ruth, sorry. What were you taught as a child? Because she went to public school in Connecticut. What were you taught as a kid about the globe? And she's like, we weren't. No such thing. None of us were. This was new. So when people open a history book and see, look, the Romans or the Greeks knew that the earth was a ball 2,000 years ago, that's a story that they put in modernized Rockefeller books. So you could believe that if you want. So then they default. But what most people default to, no, we've known about this for 2,000 years. No, that's a fucking story in a book. The reality of it, people back in the day, this is new to them. This globe was brought in with the Rockefeller system of the education system. How can you have a
flat
New World
Earth
Order?
thing? I need to figure out still.
That's why.
That's a rough one for me.
No,
I'm going to do my due diligence. And
Sure. Well, it's important. It's an important topic for people to get on because it proves the creator at that point. There is no, because a lot of people have religions. There's so many of them. I don't really choose one. I'm just a soldier of God. I don't need to pick any of these religions. Right?
Well, they all have, their imagery always has a firmament.
Yeah.
I know that.
All ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
Even as far as the 1800s.
But really up to the 1800s?
Through it, yeah. And I think that this, with the Great Fires, everything kind of changed in the mid-1800s.
What were the Great Fires about?
Well, getting rid of...
Are we in the midst of a new, that was that reset possibly?
Possibly.
Are we in the midst of a new reset? Does it take a certain amount of years, dude? Is that like the sort
Naturally, that's possible, yeah. But I think that, these evil men running the cabal are trying to do it before God would, like they're trying to play God. They're trying to reset it before they get reset, in a sense.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to monitor it. But I think collective consciousness can extend it as long as possible. But I think that with the Great Fires back then in the 1800s, what that was, if you look at America, and this whole Columbus story is bullshit regardless. People listening going, oh no.
Don't
Columbus,
fucking say that to the Italian over here. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
This whole story of
I don't really
Cornelius
know the whole
discovered
Columbus
America and all this stuff, it's bullshit. I think they pulled it out of a lot of public schools today and nowadays.
They did.
But because it's
The
bullshit,
Italians
made up.
hated it.
I get that. I get that side of it, but
I had to be in the Columbus Day Parade once.
that's fine.
And I was like, am
you're
I
doing it
allowed
for the
to
right
do
reason,
this?
though. You're not
Before
really.
woke was wokeism. I was like, can I be in this fucking parade? They want me to wear this fucking thing.
It's a pro-Italian thing for you. It's not a Christopher Columbus was XYZ necessarily.
Right.
But I look at it like if America was empty for a while after the reset, whenever that was, all of these old world buildings, these structures, these stone and marble palaces that had free energy, right? All of this is still here. So if you can imagine San Francisco built out with these old world structures, if they're bringing people in via orphan trains, whatever they were doing back then.
That was wild too in your film.
Yeah.
That whole, I mean, I cannot believe, okay, I'm just going to back up and from whomever is watching this, Sean's other film, Old World Order, is it just America, the Great Fires, or were they across the world?
It was in the world. I just focus on America.
You focus on America.
Yes. Yeah. Look up your city right now. Whoever's watching, look up your city. Unless you're in like a very tiny suburb in the middle of nowhere, that's a little different. But if you're in a medium to a big city, just type in your city name and Great Fire afterwards. And there's articles for days. Because I don't know about you, but when I was little, I don't know about you guys. When I was little, well, granted, I was in Chicago, but this is a good point of bringing it up. We were only taught Chicago Great Fires. That's all we're taught about in public school. And I knew people outside of Chicago.
I didn't know anything about these Great Fires.
That's fine, but I can almost guarantee that where would you go to?
I was in Queens and in New York.
Okay.
New York.
If you went back, maybe you don't remember this. A lot of us forget about school and the indoctrination camps, right? We just move on. But I could almost guarantee, because I've talked to other people that grew up in different cities in America, they're only taught, the whole country was only taught about the Chicago Great Fire on purpose, in my opinion. If the whole country's taught about one great fire, then we all focus on that one and nothing else. Little did you know, there was possibly even a bigger one in the city you live in. But they don't want.
You showed images of New York.
Oh yeah, I showed images of almost every state that was burned to the ground.
Down to nothing, but they don't look like. First of all, those stone buildings might not have really burned.
Well, no, well, that's why our fireplaces are made out of brick and stone and stuff.
All right. Well, my apartment was brick, and it did go. It went down. I watched it go down on TV too.
Yeah, but stone is a little different as well, though. I think, like,
still the way those cities burned with nothing to really catch that much fire. I mean,
no, but they always had.
It's one thing for this to be up in flames, but even Lahaina, like to see these, and whoever thinks it's a fucking conspiracy theory at this point, I think people just they forgot about it because the news just abandoned.
They move on. Another false flag, another distraction.
But the fucking actual lines cut through certain things,
and the trees were fine.
Yes.
It's like a forest fire, but the forest is untouched. Okay.
You know, when I went to Lahaina before, I was sent to go there because this kind of spiritual guy told me that Lahaina was sacred ground and that there was a portal there. And I never really investigated it any more than that. I never got to go because my kid got sick when we were on the trip and I didn't go. But I was meant to go into that water in that spot for like this healing sort of thing. And I was like, okay, interesting. Never went. But when Lahaina was on fire, that's all I could think about. I was like, what's in Lahaina?
And they had, BJ Penn was in the film, one of the greatest UFC superstars of all time. And BJ Penn told me that there is a lot of old world buildings in Lahaina still. I mean, Hawaii didn't have a lot left. They got rid of a lot of them.
They got rid of them in that
I'm
fire?
I'm not saying that was a reason for it. I'm sure it's a land grab like they always do. Same with there's a lot of great fires in California, just wildfires, and they just take out everything. But
do you think the smart city thing is
correct
the move?
Build back better, right? That's what they want. But, I look at it like from the past, it was the airship, right? The airship was the pinnacle of traveling in the sky. They hijacked the airship because I think...
Was it hijacked?
Meaning the idea of it. That's
Can you explain what the airship is? Because no one's going to fucking know what the hell.
Yeah, sure.
That's a motherfucking blimp for people who don't know.
It's a blimp on steroids.
It's a blimp.
It's a blimp on steroids.
Wow.
Yeah,
what was it made of?
You could fit 1,000 people in there. I mean, they would have like dance floors, full bars while you're traveling. I mean, it was massive inside.
What was it doing at the pinnacles of buildings, like tall?
Yeah, so they'd have it where only the old world buildings were set up for it, right? Those big antennas that they would hook. I think it was magnetic, but the front of the airship, and these are giant. I mean, imagine a Goodyear blimp.
And what year was this? Was it the Germans?
1800s, early 1900s still. And
was it the Germans? Was it?
It was all over the place. Everyone had
So it wasn't just me. It wasn't. The one that crashed was German. Was it us?
Yes. That's the one they put on the news. That's another 9/11 to me.
Okay. See, I don't know that.
They had it explode on TV, and everybody back then lost their shit like 9/11.
Yes.
And then it made its fear, so it made everybody look at the TV and go, well, I'm never getting on one of those again. So
that was the end of them.
They ended it. They didn't, because they're still here.
It's just the Goodyear blimp.
It's just the cabal uses them, I'm sure. It's because there's no other way to go outside of Antarctica without. You can't take an airplane and go that far to get over there. Yeah, I think they're safer.
What are they made of?
Good question. That's one aspect that
I feel like balloon. It looks like a balloon.
Well, yeah, no, I know. It's definitely there's helium in it. And there's different gases they put where it recharges itself, so you don't really have to stop.
Yeah.
Once you're up, you can fully control, and you can just be up in.
And were they landing people from the spires, or were they letting people out at the top of the Empire State Building?
Yeah. So what would happen is it would hook onto this thing. There was someone up there, so someone would go up the escalator or ladder.
Insane.
It sounds insane, but I mean they're safely let out. And then they go down. The old world used to have like these older escalators that like went all the way like spiraling down and stuff like that.
Like a Tower of Babel.
Kind of, yeah, in a sense, yeah. But if you look at the difference to me between America and even Europe, when you go to travel to Europe and you see the same looking buildings that we have here, their story for those huge monumental structures are, well, this was built in 530 AD. So what that do? It short circuits people's brain.
It does. I was just there.
What can you do?
I went there for 7 weeks to look at the architecture.
How can you prove that? How can you prove that it was or wasn't 530 AD? You don't. So you just write it off as, wow, this is old. How'd they build this? There's no answers.
I wasn't buying any of it.
I know, but there's no answers for how they built it back then. But they chuck it up as this side of the country that has these buildings were built so long ago, we don't have much information on them. But then when you come here to America and you see the ones in New York and Chicago and Detroit, everywhere, Cleveland, every city has these. There's still some left. They turn them into government facilities now.
Yeah.
The government has them.
Thanks,
We don't have them. So because we can't own these types of buildings that are left over, we can't investigate them. We can't go under the ground and look around. We can't do anything. The government owns them. The city halls of America, the museums of America. These are the buildings they kept. The White House. All these buildings that we can't discover. But you look at America and you Google it and go, well, when was this giant building that looks like it should be in Europe? When was this built? Oh, 1892. What? 1892? This is horse and buggy days. So you're telling me these fucking guys are getting on a horse, going, I think most of the marble was in Spain. They're going with their horses all the way to Spain to get marble. By the time they come back, they have 1% of the building of marble. They have to go back to Spain to get more. And like, none of it adds up. And then when I started looking into, because people were like, no, there's construction photos of them building these buildings back then. I'm like, there were? I'm like, oh shit, then maybe I'm wrong. Let me look at authentic construction photos. And first of all, it was very hard to find any. So I don't know what people were talking about. But once I started finding them, there was a company called Detroit Publishing Company. They were known for their postcards, right? So back in the day, think like 1910, you send a postcard to someone, it would be like the city, it was like photoshopped, right? They would make it. They were one of the first to kind of do these like layerings of photos. They were also in control of these construction photos of these buildings. So
Who, the Rockefellers?
Probably.
So they're publishing.
I'm assuming.
Maybe, was it the Schofield Bible people?
Exactly.
Maybe them.
But there's a two-part system to construction photos. One is these are the only types of construction photos you get for back then. One is the easiest one to look at is the building's already built. There's no construction going on. All they have is the what do they call it for painters? The scaffolding, where it's all around the building to repaint it. And then you got two guys with like top hats on, and they have their hand in their pocket, Masonic shit, and they're like with a paintbrush. Like that's that's the construction photo. The building's already there. I want to see the building. Especially the interior of some of these buildings are so beautiful and mind-boggling. You're like, what the hell is going on? We don't see this today. Okay, there's got to be construction photos of them inside installing giant waterfalls and stuff, like nothing inside. So I'm like, that's really weird. There's no interior construction photos of really anything. So then I'm like, all right, let me look at the exterior and get a feel for it. Let me use my logic. And then I zoom in. I get the highest quality image you can. Yandex browser's the best for that. That's Russia's Google. And because there's no controlled algorithm bullshit. Like you get what you're typing in.
There?
Yandex.
Really?
So, yeah. Oh. And but when I go to Yandex Images to look for these original photos of the construction, I zoom in, and I don't know if you saw the film, you see like it's all they'll white out the sky completely. And they'll act like half the building. It just looks like they took on Photoshop. They took it out, and yet there wasn't Photoshop back then, guys. It was called Victorian photography, manipulation.
We could dispute
in the
that
dark room
too, I'm sure.
It was in the dark room. They would do it in the dark room, right? Remember, like in school, you like put something in the dark room. The old photography.
Yeah.
And what they would do is they would layer these buildings on top of one another so they can do whatever they want. They could take a building and act like they just built it. So what they would do is they would crop off like half the building. The building's there, but they would take off half, and that's a construction photo. And I'd zoom in and you can see that it's layered. None of it's real. So I'm like, why would they have to fake construction photos back then? Oh yeah, well, no, they didn't build these buildings.
So who did?
I have my...
What are your theories?
Yeah, of course there's a theory. I wasn't there. In my opinion, giants.
Giants.
Yeah, they needed to live. That's the thing. People, especially Christians, Catholics, whoever, religious people, they're all about that book. Number one, that book has over 200 verses that the earth doesn't move and it's stationary and it's flat. It's like, it's a flat earth book if you believe in the Bible. There's over 200 verses that say we're not moving and there's no swirling space shit. But they want to bypass that part of the Bible. They also bypass the part of so many things regarding like the old world and giants, right? Giants are mentioned in the Bible. Giants are...
Do you like
mentioned.
the Book of Enoch, or are you against the Book of Enoch?
Never. I don't really try to get involved in religions or books because, in my opinion, why would they allow the truth free in my hotel room drawer? And I'm not shitting on any religion.
With the Book of Enoch, that's a better bedtime story.
I'm just saying they hijacked the truth from A to Z in my world, but yet there's supposed to be a book that's we can all get our hands on that's supposed to be completely true. Now, I do think that the Bible is a good book. There's guidelines of how to live your life. I'm not against the Bible. I'm not against any religion. Well, I'm fuck the Talmud, but I'm not against the Quran or just anything. Like if it makes you a better person, I'm all about that. You should do that. But for the people that preach the Bible, you have to understand that giants are in there.
Yeah.
So when I say it looks like that these doors that are 25 feet high and the door handle's 15 feet up, why would we build that on because bring in our donkeys and horses and let's start creating a new place. Even though we all live in these shacks like Abraham Lincoln, we're going to build these structures, with 30-foot high door panels and we can't even get to the doorknob without a ladder. That makes sense. It doesn't make sense. So I default to giants built it. You can call it Nephilim back in the day. But then there's people that believe in this new theory called the little season. I don't know if you heard of this.
No.
It's something
The giants I'm all over, but the little season.
The little season isn't it. I am not an expert on this at all. Eddie Bravo is, my buddy Eddie Bravo. He loves this topic, but it's something about that we're living at. Right now, we're at the end of Satan's realm on earth, like Satan's reign over earth. Okay. And this is mentioned in the Bible, apparently, that, and again, I'm probably butchering this, but Jesus was just here.
When?
Like before the reset. Like that's what this reset was about. That's what this cover up was about. And these old world structures were
the 1800s.
Yeah. 1700s even. But I don't want to butcher this, but it seems as if, in the little season, the theory of it is very intriguing for me because I still have a sense of the evil is going to be eradicating from this earth forever. Like we're at like something's happening. We all feel something. We all feel like something's off. And it seems like they're running around now, the cabal, with the like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah,
and they're
I feel
just
like
doing everything they fucking can because they're on their way out of here. And so I'm all about that theory. I don't know much about it, but it's about because I produce Eddie's show. Look into it on Rumble, and he has a lot of guests that are come on and talk about this. And I haven't learned a lot. I've learned enough to go, I like that theory because it aligns with my beliefs that evil is exiting the earth forever. And if that's the case, it matches with this little season theory that we are at the end of Satan's reign on earth. Satan has been running this earth since Jesus left. And, I don't know, but I feel that though. I feel that
I do
this
too.
great awakening is really just God's soldiers just waking up together and going, something's changing. Something's about to happen. And I feel like the evil is on its way out. And I pray that's true. But the little season theory, I would advise you to just take a look at it. I don't know much about it, though.
I'll go deep into the little season.
It's crazy.
I feel the way you do because a lot of people, with the chemtrails, climate trails, with what they're doing to the sky, how they're trying to kill us, and or trying to save the earth.
Yeah,
it's. I mean, we didn't even. Really
We're blocking the sun. That's going to save the earth, apparently. Yeah.
I know.
There's always a new lie involved when people get caught. So
oh yeah,
when chemtrails was a thing even 12 years ago, and Kristen Megan, the whistleblower that's in the film,
who I met at
Oh, yeah?
Rescue the Revolution
Awesome.
back in DC, and we had just had a couple of drinks, so I just couldn't believe she was standing next to me in my
legend.
crazy old lady world now with what I care about. I always joke around with all of these sort of, people in this movement. I'm like, it's like I'm meeting Tina Turner right now. I just feel like I'm hanging out with like royalty, like some kind of, because anybody who's putting themselves out like that, not that it's fucking entertainment, even though at this point for us, this is our fucking entertainment. As sad as it fucking sounds, it's like, we are providing entertainment for people to learn the truth, a different kind of entertainment, like the awakening,
Entertain with truth. That's what I've always tried to do.
Nice. I like it.
And
good. You're going to make t-shirts for free.
I've always tried to, when I'm making a film, especially like all the feature films I've made in the past 4 or 5 years, I look at it from the perspective of, I'm not making this for the ones that know, I'm making this for the ones that don't.
Yes.
So I have to do it at this 101 basic level. Because so many times we're like, we want to tell our family or friends like the truth about something, and they go, "What can I watch on it?"
Yeah.
Well, what do you give them? You give them a YouTube slideshow or something, they're not going to be entertained. They're going to shut it off. They're not going to be mentally involved in it. When you have a higher production value and you can give this sort of truth and shove it down their throat, but they're entertained at the same time, and you still can do it. I try to give it to them in a way that they're used to. They're used to watching these documentaries or these films that are entertaining. So I couldn't shy away from that. And it's like, how do I combine entertainment with truth? And I think I'm doing an okay job so far.
Climate Trails is perfect for someone who it's perfect for even someone like me who knows a lot about it. There's The Dimming, that's Dan's film,
Yeah, that's great film.
at Geoengineering. watch.org, but
Advanced information.
that goes into every little detail. But you have enough fucking details in there, like oh my God, the fucking patent on the mind control stuff. Like, why are they patent, however the fuck you say it,
Yes.
these things in relation, and it is in relation to the orchestration of all of the madness in the skies. And people really don't understand. And again, we can talk about the history of the world, which to me right now, and you touch on this a lot, and this is what I've been saying to my kids and to my boyfriend whenever people are super mixed up these days. And I feel like that's what I'm here for at this point. Like, I'm not really here to talk about fucking politics. I think that while people are starting to wake up to the truth about certain things, I'm not afraid of it anymore. Like, I sort of expect what the next step is going to be. As sad as certain things are going to be in the next few years, which I do think there's going to be a lot of very strange occurrences. We've been living through some already up until now.
More false flags are coming.
Yes,
It's good to be on this side of it, though, because think about it.
Yes, but I fell for what was going on. I don't want to sound crass in saying that to people that are super invested in that story either, because what if I'm wrong? But it does feel very Hollywood. It's just another way of telling a fucking story at this point. So and people might butcher me for saying such a thing, but it's just my fucking opinion. It does feel strange because I'm digressing, but I just watched my sister-in-law give a speech at my brother's funeral the day after that we flew into New York after Charlie Kirk was killed, and I watched her kids and her speak, and I was on call to go up there and help her read her speech because she couldn't speak.
Of course.
She was falling to fucking pieces, and she had a whole year to prepare for his departure because he was dying. And to watch that is like, I just fucked up my microphone probably, but to watch that was like, and I'm an actress too. It's like to watch a performance, and again, I'm going to get fucking butchered for saying any of this, but.
Are we getting to Erica Kirk now?
Yes.
Yeah, that was fake.
So.
Phony.
I couldn't help but feel like, would I do a better performance? Maybe I'd be so nervous that my performance wouldn't be so good. Maybe I would be nervous.
And Drea, I'll be honest with you. Up until that quick eulogy, right? That not eulogy, but
I just watched
the quick speech.
I watched the one with the chair last night. Believe it or not, I'd never seen it.
The one where she stood up, it was like the next day, I think, or 2 days later.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it.
It was just her on TV
this morning.
talking, and she's wiping her no tears. I'm like, you're in 4K.
One eye.
We can see.
She only wiped one eye. It was so weird.
It's very Masonic feeling, very staged, but at the same time, I'll just admit this. Up until that moment, because me and my wife, we watched that, and I was expecting, emotions to be at all-time high to see that, because it's sad. Up until that point, I thought everything was legit. There was nothing that I really questioned. I didn't, again, because emotions overtaking the logic. So I never logically took a look at Kirk's event. The thing of the blood and all that, I don't want to see that, which is, I think
the chair going through the table, though.
That wasn't yet for me, though. That's my point. When I saw Erica give that first speech, and I'm looking at my wife, we're looking at each other, going, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
Because we're still us. We're still truthers. We're still realists, critical thinkers. But I wasn't watching that speech going, this is going to be fake. I guarantee. No, I was like, this is going to be fucked up, man. She's brave for doing this so quick. I would have been like, fuck you. I'm not talking about this. I'm like, give me a few months. Go fuck yourself. Yeah. But I'm watching this. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, okay, time to go back to the drawing board here.
I couldn't watch because I was too emotionally invested in the whole thing.
And
I was like, I'm not watching
people
this.
Couldn't have,
And then I saw it this morning, and I was like, oh my God.
That's bad. It's bad. I know. And that's what made me go back to the drawing board to go, let me take a look at this. And I zoom in on everything and I pause it and look. And I'm like, wait a minute. Every culprit outside of this random patsy sniper that somehow ran off the roof and went to Dairy Queen. Yeah, that story. I didn't believe that the whole time. That was just another mainstream. I knew once they said it was a sniper, I was like, okay, there's something going on now. This is weird. They're doing this Trump
What do you
thing.
think about Candace investigating it?
Candace. I mean, I would hope that she's real. That's all. I hope that she's legit about it. And I think that she's at least attempting to think outside the box. I'll give her that. Opposed to most mainstream people that are just like going along with the official narrative, talking about this patsy and all this stuff. So I give her credit for that. But I'm a different type of person. I saw all the grand conspiracies on social media where it's this guy's got an armpit gun and that guy's got this under his arm and this guy's doing it from here. And there's all these people that are being pointed to as potential people that killed Charlie. But when I looked at all those people that were being blamed for it, those were the people that all ran up to him. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Is Charlie a part of this? I'm like, what is happening right now? And they're handing each other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you zoom in on one guy, he's smiling right over Charlie. Like you see this smile on his face. And then I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's look at this as if this was real. And the blood's just pouring out of his neck. And then the guy pushed him over.
So if it were real, it would have to be a CIA lab might.
Something. So let's just
James Bond.
Let's just call the shooting real, and Kirk's blood coming out of his neck is real, right? Okay. Well, we saw 4 seconds of the blood. Granted, they put him down. No one could see him again. The next time you see him, they're carrying him off, even though you don't see him. They're carrying him off. But when you look at the guy, the same guy that's getting blamed for tampering with evidence that took the camera down, Charlie's buddy, who just. You guys, they took him away? Okay. Let me grab the chair, which is now starting to tamper with evidence, move the chair, stand on it, take this whole thing down, card out, and walk away. He should be in prison for that, but he's not, of course, because if this thing's controlled, it makes sense. But my point is this, that same guy that did that, he was the guy that as soon as Charlie got shot, he ran around the back, went up on like this little ledge on top, and started filming with his phone.
No.
The whole audience running out, and it's like a theater.
I didn't see that. Was it the guy in the white and blue or the guy in the brown?
The guy, I think, did he have a hat on?
The one that was
I don't know his name. I don't think they released his name.
No, that guy too. They wiped him clean. He was the IDF security guy.
Oh God. Well, there you go. And people are like, Israel killed Kirk, and I'm like, Israel might have just wrote this whole script, and they're throwing themselves in the fire, saying we did not kill Kirk. And then it's like, I look at it even from the perspective of Kirk, the last 3-4 weeks of his life, the first time ever that all of a sudden he goes, oh, you know what? I'm kind of against this Israel thing now. I felt like that was written into the script. Why not? Because what it's doing now is making people go, Israel took him out. But then the other side of it goes, well, what do you mean he was pro-Israel? No, look at this interview. These are all brand new.
So this is just, what if
theater?
Like, to me, is they're trying to create, the whole evangelist thing with Israel, the whole collusion in that area, and the whole funding of the Muslim side of things, and all of it. So it's, making a fake religious war, maybe, sort of, kind of.
It's a Greater Israel Project. They want all these countries, Iraq, Iran.
But it's not even about the Jews or the Christians. It's not about the actual people. It's about this thing that's above everything, that's just using all these different people's religions as if we go back into history and start to look at possibilities of, I don't know, I'll get in a lot of trouble for probably talking about stuff like this, but it's just entertainment, right? It's just entertainment. Just the different bloodlines, I guess, that, had to just say, oh, we have to pick a religion now, so to maneuver through these areas, and I'll pick Judaism, but I don't really give a fuck about Judaism because I'm a fucking pagan, and this is really what my religion is, and we're going to get all these fucking people together, and we're going to create this fucking explosive thing that will carry on for years. We'll finance Hitler, we'll fucking do all this stuff, and here we are.
Well,
boiling point.
Hitler for me is what I was taught in school about him. I don't believe. I just don't.
Well, now I don't believe anything I was taught in school. Now I want to know
I'm with you.
Who really.
I'm not going to be like, hey, Hitler was a great guy. I don't fucking know.
No,
but I do know that he wasn't what they said he was. That's all. And for me, I don't really speak about it more than that, because it's like, what does that do for anyone today or tomorrow? It doesn't. That's so long.
No, it doesn't fucking matter.
What does it matter?
Right. But the whole comparing Trump You know, again, that's all theater too, but I think that the way the left can get on board with that is that there was this sense of nationalism
Of course.
during a bad time. And when Germany, I guess, they didn't want to join, or they wanted to go off the banking system. I mean, that seems to be the bucket.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, if they actually do their research and their due diligence, that when Hitler took over Germany, Judea declared war on him. It wasn't the other way around. People think Hitler was just some guy that's like, I'm just going to throw Jews in ovens for no reason.
Yeah, no one knows the actual.
They were fucking with him, and he was like, dude, I don't want war. I was in a war. He just came from a war. He was technically a war hero back then. And he took over Germany. He got, I mean, hands down, won that unanimously. He was one of the, you guys think Trump's famous with his rallies. It was Hitler was like times 10 people showed up. So I look at the crowd that showed up like, are you guys that stupid to be going goo goo gaga over this guy if he's this bad of a person, or was there something else to it? And for me, it's like, well, how am I going to know? I can't go back in time and look. But when I look at the way he got treated and the way these women are just trying to, it's like another Michael Jackson where they're trying to reach out to him and they're fainting over him. Why? Why, if he was that bad of a person, are people doing that? Well, I just think that Hitler was just someone that's just like Germany first, German, you know, Japan for the Japanese, German for the Germans, America for the Americans. And that's it. We're supposed to have boundaries here. This is our country. I don't want these outside entities coming in with their banking system, their trans fucking pushing trans, chopping stuff. They were doing all that.
I know. That was happening. No one really knows a lot of that stuff.
They don't. I get why people get mad, like he's praised, like he was a great guy. And it's because of what he was against. It lines up with the way some people nowadays, they're against these things. He was against them too, and he put his foot down. So I get why people kind of idolize him nowadays because of his stance on things. But we really don't know.
Is that happening now too?
We really but we really don't know if he was controlled, if he was financed by the same team.
I mean, he was financed by fucking Ford. We were sending.
That's what I mean.
We were sending so much. The same we were fucking financing probably Hamas and all this other fucking crazy shit. And I personally think that this is possibly the root of a lot of evils right here.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that they use that religion. They use all the fucking religions to make everybody fuck with each other all day. When it's not about any of it. I mean, we're all meant to fucking stand together and not believe anything our fucking government or our fucking school systems have taught us completely, and try to find a common ground.
Throw those books away.
I know.
It's all bullshit. Science, history, all of it. Besides math, you need math.
Math's important.
Yeah.
You ever read The Phantom Tollbooth?
No.
It's such a great fucking book. I just went really off fucking topic.
No, you're good.
That's a great book for anybody to read their kids at all times, The Phantom Tollbooth, because it does this whole play on language versus math, and they're against each other. And this little boy who goes through all these tunnels and stuff. And I think, who knows? I mean, now I'm going back into the other thing with, I think, with the fucking Nazis is they were obsessed. And I'm reading this book and I lost it on the fucking airplane. Probably the aliens came and took it. They were super into the occult. So that's where shit got weird. They were really like deep into the Bavarian, like Illuminati, and all of that crazy shit, which I don't really know that much about, but I'm definitely fucking interested, and I'm definitely going to try to understand. And if people see my library of books, they're going to be like, well, this bitch is a fucking Nazi. And it's like, no, I just want to understand what the truth is.
Well, I saw your mural coming up with the UFOs. I got good news for you.
What?
They're not far away.
Oh, I know.
It's if you look at the word extraterrestrial, extra is more.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what terrestrial means?
Terra?
Land?
Yes, land.
More land.
Yeah.
So I think that these crafts, I think they're powered by electrostatics, free energy. It's all electric. I think that some of these outside of Antarctica, who knows? I mean, we could live on an infinite plane for all we know. How will we know? We can't go past the 60th parallel legally and explore. So what they did was they cut out the 7 continents that are publicly known, wrapped it into a ball, and said, that's it. There's nothing else to explore. It's my favorite part of the Truman Show is when Truman goes, I want to be an explorer when I get older. And the teacher pulls down the globular map and goes, you're too late. There's nothing left to explore. and he sits back down like, and that's kind of true. Like, I think we're born, we have traits, we want love, we want this, we have hunger, but exploration is one of them. And we're quickly taught in school, knock that shit off. There's no such thing anymore. You can't explore. Everything's big sports. Shut the fuck up. Pay your taxes and shut up. But if per se, hypothetically, we lived on an infinite plane, we're just in the center, right? I think that a long time ago, whoever lived over there, that's what they drove. They're advanced technologies. They're advanced civilizations. I'm not saying they're gray and green things coming out. I don't think so. I think they're humans that are doing it. But if it crashed in the ocean or if something happened, they found it, even if it's from a long time ago. They know how to reverse engineer stuff. So they reverse engineer these
Antarctica is all about that, is it?
Reverse engineering. So the extraterrestrial comes from the outer land, and it's in the
reverse engineering was more. It was an Area 51 type of ship, but Antarctica. I mean, I happen to believe all that I read about Antarctica. So if anybody ever wants to research Antarctica, it's always a fun rabbit hole to do. I mean, do you believe a lot of that stuff or no?
I in terms of Antarctica, I think that Antarctica, they do admit, is the highest landmass on Earth, right? It's higher than any continent, so the height of it. Mm-hmm. Because I think that it's surrounding our known world, because you can't, I mean, it's like if I told you if you went to a lake, Texas has big lakes. Think of a lake that's 50 miles. That's a huge lake all around. And you're like, oh, I'm going to go swimming in the lake. I'll be back later on. If I said, hey, don't fall off the lake, would you look at me kind of weird? Like, what do you mean?
Yes.
Fall? Well, that's what people think with the flat earth. Like, you're just going to fall off the edge. I'm like, you understand Antarctica is the shoreline of our known world. It is holding in our oceans. Water has to be contained. All right? I mean, we pour water in the bathtub, you need the tub.
So what happens if it melts? What if solar? So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Because I don't know anything with the flat Earth stuff yet. I don't know any of it. What does the stratospheric aerosol injections, which is what we're dealing with in the sky, the chemtrails. Cloud seeding seems like the more benign of the two, even though that stuff is not very, I think Dane even said sort of like it's sort of the blanket they use in front of the solar engineering. The cloud seeding is, for more rain, snow.
So they say.
Yeah. And I guess.
Or to just flood out a city in Texas. Like this.
Well, yes. So that's, with the fires. That would be more directed energy.
No, because aluminum is flammable,
and it's a desiccant as well.
And if it falls down on the forest, and that's it. I mean,
and that's Palisades was. Yeah. They were spraying incessantly before fires.
Of course, Maui too. Same.
Very much so. So that was, but the Palisades, I think they sold off maybe a little better than Lahaina because they didn't have all those blue things left behind, and they didn't have all the lines in the middle of anything.
Yeah, because the lasers can't pierce through blue, no matter what they try to do. And you know why I think it can't? Because of God. Look at the ocean above you; it's blue. They can't get out. They can't break the seal. They can't. They've tried. I mean, look at Operation Dominic. They sent up missiles straight up into the sky to see how far they would reach. And when it hit, it wasn't far at all. When it hit the firmament, it detonated and spread over, right? So it's like,
I don't know this.
So it can't. It's called Operation Dominic.
This fucking know-it-all doesn't know this.
Well, the other name that they called it was Operation Fishbowl. Right.
Dominic is so Italian. Keep going.
Well, Dominic is of the Lord when you break it down, the name.
Domine.
Yes. But they were trying, and I think this was the 40s or 50s. And this was around when NASA started, because they're like, look, we can't get out of here. We can't get through it. I'm sure they tried their direct energy weapons. It's blue. Nothing can break it. They can't get out of here. So they have to fake it. It's one of those things where they're like, well, how are we supposed to have this new world order where we control everyone if they can just leave and go? Because there's books in the 1800s. Iron Republic is one. The Smoky Gods, another. There's a lot of books from the 1800s that talk about them getting lost by sea and going to more land, going to see other beings, taller humans. that were super nice and stuff like that. And this is before the treaty started. So I think that they figured after the orphans came here and they started to have these asylums where all the kids went, the asylums are now called schools.
Do you think the orphans were manufactured?
Yeah, you know what? It's possible that there was some like Cabbage Patch Farm back in the day where they're making babies and stuff. I don't have any receipts on that though. There's a lot of
the imagery you use.
exactly.
Though,
there's a lot of imagery.
Really,
There's a lot of imagery about it,
Okay.
but I can't grasp it in
and
a
that's
sense.
old imagery.
Very old. Yeah. You can actually there's stuff on eBay with like original postcards with this like
This is
farm
part of
babies.
his film,
Oh,
The Old World
Yeah.
Order.
That's the part of it where I'm just like, man, I hope
Were
that's not
people,
true.
like buying babies from these incubators?
Yeah,
Or
so they would come.
World Fairs,
Yep.
they would come and introduce all this new technology, whatever.
Yep.
And then they would build these
Old technology.
insane, right? Well, I believe that AI is ancient.
Oh yeah.
I keep telling my kid that because I believe she came here to deal with this on Earth, because if you say the word AI to her, she literally will start to cry.
Oy.
She becomes completely unhinged over AI, and she's one of the most beautiful artists you'll ever see. Her hands are magic, and her music too, piano. And so she has this thing, and I keep saying to her, you're here to help people understand.
Yes.
You're here to help people understand, because that is why you have this like thing. I'm like, I watch it and I'm like, wow, you're here to help people. It's going to be okay. You are 100% going to do this thing. And because you're going to make art and you're going to make music, and it's not going to be AI. But I think AI is ancient, and I don't know that it was only evil.
Well, I think everything's ancient. I mean, if you back to that book, Iron Republic, when he got lost by sea and he saw a new set of stars patterns in the sky far, far past Antarctica, he got lost. So you don't see the stars we see every day going around our head. He was seeing other ones, and that's how he got lost. He's like, wait, hold on. We can't navigate right now. There's no GPS back then. When he got to a new other continent, they called themselves the Iron Republic, the way, we're North America. That was Iron Republic. When he went there, they had advanced technology already. In the book, whether you think that there's more land past Antarctica or not, or the Earth is flat or not, doesn't matter. This book, even if you think that the book's fantasy, which I don't think it's fantasy, even if you did, like, oh, it's just a fantasy book, they're still talking about A, more land past Antarctica, B, flat screen TVs on their wall back then, Bluetooth technology. They had all that shit. This guy's documenting everything he saw, late 1800s. Yeah. And he published it in the Hawaiian, I think the Florida Gazette, or the Hawaiian Gazette, 1902, 1903. Got published. They buried it right away ever since.
It's like they buried all your movies.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing, too, that publicly, though, in terms of modern day where we can go and see actual interviews of stuff, there's a guy named Admiral Byrd. Admiral Richard Byrd, who he's not the first, but in America, they wanted to claim like he's the first man to go explore Antarctica, right? So they tried to go there by ship. They couldn't because of the ice wall. It's too high. So then they flew. They got approved, military. Admiral Byrd was the leader of that military. They flew over the ice wall, and they flew a long way. And they were there for a long time, I think over a year or two. And when he came back to tell what he saw, what his stories were, he went on the first interview he had was on live TV. It was Longines Chronoscope or something like that the show was called. And you could see that even before they're about to introduce him, and he's excited, like he's just a kid in the candy store, like, I can't wait to tell you guys. And they weren't expecting this, because this is right around the same time that NASA and the globe and all this stuff was being propagated, right? And they said, well, what did you see over there? And he goes, I saw another continent the size of North America over there that no one's ever seen. No one's stepped foot on before. And in warm conditions, tropical conditions. Hold on. I thought it was freezing cold over there. And then, of course, the globe believers would go, oh, no, he just found like a little thing on the bottom of the ball. And, well, it'd be frozen then. What are you talking about? He's talking about warm conditions. And then his diary comes out where he explored the North Pole, the center of the Earth, where all the magnetic, the compasses point to the north. Apparently there's a magnetic, like a magic mountain there, some crazy there, right? And he said that there was...
So for a flat Earth, the inside of the Earth, the middle of the Earth would be the North.
It'd be the North Pole.
It would be the North Pole.
Yeah, there's no South Pole. That's a myth.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not going to if you're traveling from here to here, you're not the plane would be dipping its nose down and you'd be upside down. You're on the Australia now. It doesn't happen. You're just flying over flat ground. But when you go south, you can't, remember Pac-Man, when you go out here, you come out this side.
I'm so
No one
bad with
okay.
How is
Circumnavigation
How is
east
New
to
York
west.
closer to Europe than? How come it's not the same distance then? If we're not.
Yeah, I know.
I think
I'll send you some videos.
Japan is closer to us here, so we would fly here from Japan.
And that's the thing. Any two flights, I'll recommend anyone doing this. If you look at a flight tracking flights, right, your route, any two, agree with me on this, right? If you have a ball, and here's the equator, right? Here's the southern hemisphere, the northern hemisphere. So if you pick two airports on the northern hemisphere, right? So travel from here to here. Would you ever need to go below the equator to get to your destination? No, right? You're going from here to here, which is great. That's exactly the truth. Any northern hemisphere on top of the equator, airport to airport, will never go under the equator. It makes no sense. You're wasting time. You just go from here to here, which is true, though, is the point. But the south is where it gets crazy. The southern hemisphere flights, airport to airport, you would think the same rules apply. They don't. When you look at the flight routes from going from here to here on a ball, they always cross over and then come back down. Because this ball, if you take a 7-continent map and curve it into a ball, you're going to have these weird flight routes from the bottom. And I'll have to show you. I could send you some stuff to look at.
This is like math for me.
It blows your mind when you look at the flight routes and you go, well, what the fuck is going on? Why can't you just go from here to here? You don't. You always cross up. But when you look at it on a flat map, which all pilots use, when you look at it, it all makes sense. It's a straight line. Every flight is a straight level flight from point A to point B. So they have to have these weird flight routes to explain it on a ball because we don't live on a fucking ball.
That's why they do it? Because we have to keep up that.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
What about
that's the first thing you're handed in kindergarten. It's like, here, you live here. It's like, wait, couldn't you wait till 5th grade to start this? They're little kids.
Well, what is the sun? Why is it dark in fucking Italy?
Well, see, for me, the sun and the moon are the same size, like we see it. The moon produces cold light. You can test that yourself. You could put a thermometer in put 2 cups of water, thermometer in both, right? Have it so it's the same temperature. Put this cup of water right underneath the full moon light and put this cup of water in the shade somewhere. Just put it nowhere near the moonlight. That cup will be at 5 to 10 degrees colder within a few hours. That is producing cold light. Has nothing to do with the sun. It's not a dusty rock in the sky that is getting light from the sun. No. These are 2 local lights. They're very small and very close. So everything is right here. And this is why they've changed the distance of the sun for so long. Now, 100 years ago, the sun was 1 million miles away. But now we're up to 93 million. And a lot of people don't know that it used to be like 112 million miles away at one point. I think it was like 67 years ago. It was like 115 million miles away. But now the sun universally is 93 million miles away from us. If that fucking thing was 93 million miles away from us, then at sunset, why are only 4 clouds glowing underneath it?
Yeah.
Same thing with a full moon. You see full moon in the sky at night, and there's a couple clouds around.
Tonight is the full moon.
You'll get. Well, there's no clouds right now. But if there are any clouds, and I know that we've all seen this, whether you know what you're looking at is different. If you see the full moon, or even as long as the moon's glowing, you'll see at nighttime there's like a couple clouds right underneath the moon that are glowing, but the rest of the clouds in the whole sky are black as shit. Well, if that moon is hundreds of thousands of miles away, or whatever they say,
how is the fucking...
all the light would be evenly distributed throughout the sky at all times, but it's not. That sun and that moon are right where they are. When you see it, that's where it is. It's right there. It's very small and close. So as the sun goes across the sky and going to head towards Europe, we're not going to see that light anymore. Just like we see the airplane in the sky, we can't.
So it's moving. It's moving.
Yeah, the sun, moon, and stars are moving, and it also lines up to every holy book that's ever made. The sun, moon, and stars are right here in the firmament, right above us. And I think the stars are crazy. They're frequencies. We've zoomed in on them. Fuck these telescopes. These telescopes are bullshit. You barely get any. You can't get close to them. There's a camera called the Nikon P1000, okay? Which, by the way, NASA just bought the rights to, and then they took it out. Can't buy them anymore. You can buy them on eBay now. But from 2014 to 2018, that we call that the flat Earth camera, because it had like a 125x zoom, which is insane. You can zoom in. So if you imagine me and you are on the beach and we're looking across the ocean, we see the horizon, right? Which is short for horizontal, by the way. Flat. But here's my thing though. If we're on the beach and I would have take your bet on it, I feel like I bet you see that ship, it's going down the ball, right? Which is what they taught us in school. Columbus knew it was a globe because the ship went down the ball. Okay, so I'd say, Drea, tell me when you think that ship is down the ball in our distance on the horizon. It's going down the ball. And you'd say, look, it's down the ball. We don't see the ship anymore. It went down the ball. I'd even wait another hour. I go, let's wait even more. Let it go farther down this ball. And I would take that Nikon at ground level, zoom in on the horizon.
And it's still there.
It's still there. We can't see that far.
Right.
And remember our class with the vanishing point. Everything comes to a stop, just like a long Las Vegas hotel. That last door, it looks like it's on the ground, but it's not. Every door is 8 feet tall. The light on top is also 8 feet tall, but that last light looks like it's on the ground. And it's the same thing with the sun. It's the way our eyes work, perspective. The sunset looks like it's going down, but it's not. We've done the same thing with the sun. It's just the sun's traveling like probably at least 1,000 miles an hour. So you got to capture it quick. But we brought it back where it looks like half the sun's on the horizon where the sun's going down. So you only see half the top of the sun. You zoom in on the horizon, that sun is back in the sky full circle again. It's the way our eyes work. We're not
So no other planets around us?
Yeah, no. The thing with the planets, they used to be called wandering stars. Okay, planets is a new term for them, a NASA term, I call it. But it used to be wandering stars. So all the stars in the sky, besides the wandering ones, all the stars in the sky, including the sun and the moon, they are rotating around Polaris. So the North Star doesn't move. Everything else is going around. The wandering stars have their own paths. This is the creator creating the firmament and the universe.
Are we the only planet?
We're the basement of the universe. We're the basement of the universe.
Like
everything revolves around.
We're the bottom feeders?
No, not necessarily, but everything, you know the old term, like, what do you think, the world revolves around you? Yeah, it actually fucking does.
Are we the only ones with a firmament?
What do you mean? You mean?
Are we the only ones that are capped?
The Earth?
Yeah.
Like the known continents? Yeah, I mean.
Like other the other stars. Other planets, there's no life on other planets?
No. And that's the thing. When we started zooming in on these stars in the sky, including the wandering stars, the planets, when we zoom in on them, they're right fucking there.
So there aren't other life forms in other galaxies?
No. That is bullshit.
So they're only here.
Yeah, but think about it. They're not lying when they say outer space. Outer. Outside of Antarctica. It's out. It's not upper. Nothing's coming from above. You can't get in. You can't get out of here. That is impenetrable.
The whole universe is capped.
Yeah, we are
there
under.
Is no universe.
I look at it like a toroidal field, where I guess NASA would call it the Van Allen radiation belt or something like that.
So we are just one giant, motherfucking giant plane.
Yes.
With all the aliens and different light forms.
They're probably over there. Yeah.
They're all on this flat thing.
Yeah, but they're not aliens in the sense of what Hollywood shows you. They're not gray men, gray things with bug eyes and creatures. None of that is real to me. But at the same time, what I would call an extraterrestrial is any ancient civilization that lives outside of this world that we know. I don't know what they look like. What if they're humans that have blue skin? Different skin tones, right? In our system, with our sun and moon traveling around our head, giving us life and giving us love and everything else.
Do you ever read any Michael Salla books?
No.
He curated tons of he's written so many fucking books about.
I heard the name though.
All the government, even like Eisenhower's daughter talks about a lot of what her great-granddaughter.
What they say that she knew.
I don't really, I have to go through it more. Like I've read it and then I forget fucking everything. You can tell me every secret and tomorrow I won't know.
I have a bad short term.
Yeah, but it's not even that. I get so invested in what I'm paying attention to in the moment. that once it's done, it's done. I'm just right here. Like I can watch movies over and over again. And that's since I'm little. But back to I'm gonna. Oh, I do have to ask another question.
Sure.
What you think? So you made a movie about climate trails, and you're a flat earther.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be, we understand what it's doing to our health. You have a doctor in the film who
Dr.
really
Kaufman.
explains it, and I love him, and I would love to talk to him too.
I'll put you in touch with him. He also knows how to detox as well. Like
yes, I think that's really important. That's super.
It's important because like the calcium in our bones that we need for our bones, and the zinc that we need, and all these metals, anything we actually need from nature is being replaced with aluminum, barium, strontium, these other metals. So that's why Alzheimer's, dementia, 40-year-olds are getting it now.
Yeah.
It fucking blows my mind.
Because
it's replacing, it's getting in our brain. It's getting past the blood-brain barrier. And we got to detox. Cilantro is the biggest one. Now, not saying put more cilantro on your tacos, you'll be fine. No. I'm talking about concentrated, super concentrated, heavy amounts. Will get that metal out of your brain.
Do you think that you really need to chelate your blood in ways that's not just cilantro? Like
there's other ways.
Chelating, which is like actually having your blood taken out and cleaned and put back in.
I'm not a doctor. Ask that.
That's why I have to.
I know. I don't want to answer that because I'm not a doctor, but
and zeolite.
Yes, zeolite, the big one too.
I do a spray under my tongue twice a day.
Do it 4 times a day now.
Oh, 4 times. Yeah, because
I'm just making it up. I'm saying
really
do it more.
Feel it. It's terrible. So why do you think they're doing that? Why do you think they're doing it? If it didn't start with, knowing that the planet was in a state of peril and that they were going to, what climate change used to be called, global warming.
Global warming.
Right? It was global warming. Then they started to be global cooling, and that because of because of their weather modification programs. So then they changed the name to climate change so that they could change the climate whenever the fuck they want. And getting away from like Lyndon Baines Johnson, those who control the weather, control the world. Okay, so we know we have fucking bad actors and people that want to fucking kill us and use HARP, which a lot of people don't know what that is. It's, do you even know what it's, I forgot, but
I covered that a little bit in the film. HARP is kind of like the main hub of weather modification, and these NextRad towers that are placed all over.
I'm all over the NextRad.
They're connected. It's kind of like they send out a frequency and it travels over, and these NextRad towers receive it and resubmit the radiation. So it's this is why I'm a filmmaker that goes and tries to sit down with the best of the best so they can fucking explain it.
Right. Well, from what I understand is that they spray the sky with all this particulate, which is all metallic shit.
Correct.
Then HARP can transmit their frequencies, and the NextRad, because it can reach anywhere if you have enough towers.
Correct.
And NextRad has towers all across America.
You can't have a bunch of HARPs everywhere. It's too noticeable then.
Yeah, and that's in Alaska, right? That's in Alaska. So the fucking NextRad, which I follow it when I was feeling really shitty, and I looked it up and I saw, holy shit, they're pounding us at night. They're really fucking with it at night, like hardcore.
Big time.
Some people say from 9/11 to 9/11. I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not.
It could be in the contract. That wouldn't surprise me.
They're so fucked up and they laugh at us so much that I wouldn't be surprised if they do it that way. And it's right there for everybody to see, because that's kind of the rule of theirs, these kind of evil people. It's like, let them know what we're doing.
Revelation of the method is called. Which is what
the guy in your movie said that, your producer guy.
The executive producer, Tanner Stewart, who's on social media, Flat Earth Millionaire is his name.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I follow him.
He's just a genius. I mean, he knows so much about this world and the revelation of the method because
he's right.
They have to show you what they're doing. They have to tell you what they're doing, or they can't do it.
Yeah.
So when something looks so obvious, like, oh, come on. Well, no, it is, because it's the karmic law, karma, right?
Yeah.
This karma that they live by, and they pray to their Saturn, and it's the energy.
You do think it's Saturn too? That makes me nervous because I'm
it's
a Capricorn.
Listen,
by the
to
way.
me, these stars in the sky are frequencies.
Yes.
There are frequencies put here for us at different times, different seasons. It's everything aligns up for, and I actually, this is just my opinion now, but like, I feel like even when we dream at night, that we're out of body and we go through one of those portals, like one of those frequencies, depending on where we are. That's why, like with the zodiacs, when you're born, here's your zodiac chart, here's where all the stars were aligned. You came in through this, right? And it all matches with your
through Saturn. What does that mean?
That means, I don't know. I will get you in touch with Santos Bonacci, his name's Santos Bonacci.
Santos Bonacci?
He is
I love him already.
Genius in astrotheology and astrology. He knows.
So you don't
all
mind
the
that
answers.
stuff as you're a Christian, or you don't even call yourself
I would
a Christian.
I would default to that, yeah. But again, I don't really trust any man.
Right, me too. I don't. But you don't hate other modalities. Like you don't piss on astrology because it's satanic.
No.
Okay, good.
Think about the 12 zodiac signs and then the 12 apostles.
Yes.
I look at it,
okay,
and
good,
I'm not saying I'm right, and I'm not trying to piss off Christians, but I look at it like, is the Bible a human version of the zodiacs?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So
yeah,
the
I'm
son,
with you
the
on
son of
more
God,
things.
the son, like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of.
So do you like Egyptian stuff too?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mythology.
Well, yeah,
Do you understand how? Are you starting to put together all the pieces of how everything kind of just comes? It just all crosses over each other, and they're all just,
frequencies of vibration, everything, and everything's electric on top of it. This is why they hijacked electrostatics and called it gravity. They don't want people to know about the reality of our world and how everything works.
power, how we can fuel.
Yeah, and
the
how there's
entire
free energy at all
planet.
times. Electricity is free. It's right above us. But what they do is they hijacked it and they put it on, then they took it, they've taken it from the ether, they're capturing it underground, putting it into a base, putting it out to meters, and charging us all for what's free. And they've been doing this with everything. Water's supposed to be free. Everything's free. Fruit's free. Vegetables are
Solar X, though.
Yeah, but they charge us for fucking everything. So I think that with the free energy system that was once here with the old world, they have captured that. I think they still might utilize that in some of these buildings. But you could see some of these old world buildings back in the day, they don't even have a fucking outlet in it. They don't even have a bathroom in it. So it's just it's mind blowing to be like, well, how'd they piss? How'd they shit? Did they have to pee back in the day? It's weird because you're like, but there's no bathrooms in this giant, huge building. No bathrooms, no outlets.
Do you know why they had to get rid of the toilets? Because the giant, if you saw a giant's toilet, you'd be like, "What the fuck? There were giants in here."
Well, and I think that's where the whole myth of dinosaurs even came from, is because so many people, because dinosaurs is a new.
They were riding dinosaurs instead of
Fucking
horses.
dinosaurs is bullshit. All of it's bullshit.
They were dragons, dude.
Dragons for sure. I'm all about dragons, but I'm looking at it from
dragons.
perspective of when people in the late 1800s, early 1900s were digging up bones in their backyard. Those were giant.
Do you think the Smithsonian's trying to cover that shit?
Oh,
with
of
the
course, Men in
museum
Black would show.
happening?
There's stories of this printed. Men in Black would show up at your house when you said, "Hey, I found some bone," and they would come and go, "We need that. That's a femur of a Tyrannosaurus. It's government property now. We need that because you have proof in your hand of giant human bones. Take that shit out." And they created this whole dinosaur structure, this Big Bang evolution that you came from a monkey. You have no purpose in life. We all exploded. We're just a speck of dust in an infinite universe. Your life means nothing. You live your life with that mindset and tell me that your life is going anywhere. I mean, they want us to feel like we have no power when it's completely the opposite.
What do you think about the Anunnaki then? If we're going all the way to the fucking ends of Antarctica.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really. I know people that are really into that. I never really dabbled with it. Like I respect it though. I respect anything outside of the norm, the mainstream.
The back of my shirt.
What?
Hold on.
What do you got in the back? Okay. I keep mine cold again. I like that.
Yeah,
Ultrafree, baby. Ultrafree.
Do you know who Timothy Alberino is?
No.
Okay. He started doing all this stuff on the Book of Enoch. He was actually on Clayton Morris's show, Redacted. I prefer getting my news from Clayton Morris most times, I think, if I'm going to get any news at all. And he was on there and he tells this fucking story about having to send, like some pilot was sent to Afghanistan to retrieve something that needed to be brought back to the Air Force Base in Cleveland, whatever that one is, or in Ohio, the one top secret one. And they showed him what it was, and it was a pallet, some giant 9-foot pallet, and it stunk to fucking high heaven. Whatever it was freshly smelling like shit.
Was it Sasquatch?
And it was covered, and hanging off the front and the back were these giant hands.
Oh, so giants.
With 6 fingers and giant feet with the 6 toes.
6, yeah, they had the 6 finger, 6 toes.
And
but that
red
could have
hair.
been those were, man, what are they called? Fuck, someone did, I think, either My Lunch Break on YouTube or...
I like that.
Oh, My Lunch Break's awesome. Or
That's fun.
Mind Unveiled.
My lunch break is a fun 20-minute little lunch break.
Yeah, take your lunch break. Start watching fucking sports or CNN. But
Yeah, it's very
he blows your
cool.
mind, and he gets into the AI stuff from the back.
Is he in your movie?
He's in Old World Order.
He is in
Kenny
Old-
Loden.
Which one is he?
Kenny, the one with the... Well, I went to the museum with him. We went into the museum and talked to the security guards, and he was saying that underground you can hear the water.
Yes.
I was like, oh shit! I'm like, this. We're on the 5th. When you walk into an old world building, you're on the 5th floor. When you think you're on the 1st, you're on the 5th floor right now.
It's insane.
It's insane. It's
Yeah.
everything's underground, and I think that they've reconstructed it all.
Well, all the windows.
Yeah,
When I was in
they're cut
Sicily,
off.
yeah, they're all cut off, and they were trying to explain it to me, and I was like, I don't fucking believe this. And I knew I had to go take that trip for some reason. This fucking Timothy Alberino guy, I think that's his name, talking about the giants, they apparently, Sicily was one of the main fucking places that they were dwelling. I think all through the Middle East, and I think that's part of what a lot of the cover-ups might be. Because what happened was, according to this pilot, they told him, the army that was there, the Marines that were there, that they had been spying on these Afghanis, bringing food to this cave opening. And they thought that they were feeding and taking care of the Taliban. So they invaded the cave to take apart this little Taliban sect over there. And it was this giant, and he killed them all.
Now that sounds like a Nephilim to me.
I don't know, but I think this giant never bothered anybody. It was not bothering anyone, and this, they were taking care of him. He was indigenous to the place, and
Sure.
he was cared for, and they went in there with fucking guns and all this shit, and saw that they thought they were going there to be confronted by humans, and instead it was this
Giant.
and they were fucking, and he was probably scared, and they were scared. I'm sympathizing with the fucking giant here.
Yeah.
And they ended up killing it. He killed all of them supposedly, and then once they knew what it was, they went in and killed it because they want to study it. So they were bringing it back to the Air Force Base in America, and it was this guy's job to bring it back. And apparently, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, well, I'm just my opinion as not a.
I'll believe
True.
almost anything now.
It's not a truth per se. It's just like my opinion on it all is that they're still here,
Yes.
and they're really far away. I mean, there's the
I'm
treaty.
sure
The
there's
treaties
some
work both
trapped
ways.
here.
Treaties work both ways. It's not just we can't go over there and go. Plus, we couldn't really without an airship. I don't think anything can get over there, which is why NASA owns 99% of the helium. So if we were all multi-billionaires in this room and we're like, let's build our own fucking airship. Well, yeah, call NASA to get all the helium you need.
Wow. So that's a thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
So that's why
all
airships
together.
are done for.
They're done for people like us, yeah, because I think it's something that we could build ourselves and we could have free travel. They don't want free travel. They also don't want a way to travel. We can go check these places out and see what's going on. But I do think the treaty works both ways. They can't come in here. Look into the Grenada Treaty with Eisenhower about that one. They can't come in here. We can't go over there. And this is the system we've lived in for over 100 years.
Well, I think it's a different life form over there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The Chinese zodiac has the dragon in it. I mean, it's like all the other animals there, we all are all known, but they put a fake one in there. No, I mean, there's tales of dragons.
Are we just their slaves over here?
I don't know. I think that we're the lab rats of the world, for sure. And they run experiments on us all the time to see what happens, and it's kind of like controlled experiments. And I think it seems like lately they're losing these battles, and everything is kind of being outed as theater. So how long is it going to take for the masses to get on board? But I think they're going to kill off the ones that are still stupid in the process.
The solar engineering, though, is it not going? Are they not doing it above Antarctica? Originally, it was the ozone layer that was that one piece by Antarctica, and that was the story. So
There are some
this
countries
story,
that don't
is
spray.
there
Yeah.
ozone. Well, I was just in Greece wasn't spraying. They weren't.
Yes, there's some countries. I think there's
Italy
a lot of parts
was
of Africa
mild.
as well. A lot of parts of Africa.
Well, they're pissed at us.
You'll never see a chemtrail.
They're pissed at all of the world governments because we've been just taking away their rain.
Of
and
course.
and they know, and they know that's an American program, part of it.
It's a big the West, I'd call
Yeah.
it, including England.
Switzerland was the worst I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And
Every
speaking
day,
of Switzerland, I'll just ask you one last question because
Sure.
I'm sure you want to eat. Everybody probably wants to get the fuck out of here.
That's good.
What do you think of the CERN?
Man, that's a mystery to me. I try to write it off as bullshit.
You got to do a movie on the
myself up in my
CERN
head.
next.
I
That's
know.
required of you. And I can do it together. I'll come and investigate with you. My kids were brought there. My daughter had to go on a school trip at her Christian school, and they brought them to the CERN. And I was like, why the fuck are you bringing them there? So I had to get on a plane while I was sick to death. It was her school trip was Germany and Switzerland. It was actually Israel, and they canceled it on canceled it on
I
October.
decline any invite to
6th.
Israel.
It's October 6th.
Yeah,
They fucking
no.
canceled it. I thought that was very fucking crazy.
You know that October 6th was internal decision, right? You know about the Hannibal Directive?
It's today. It's October 7th.
No, I'm sorry. What
Wasn't it the 7th?
My bad. That's what I meant. October 7th.
Their 9/11 event.
Yeah, that was internal.
Oh,
Yeah.
you don't have to. Even,
Okay.
I mean, I think
I'm
we're-
saying
I
for your
think-
audience,
I
look
think we're on
up the
same
Hannibal Directive.
page.
That was something that they did to their own people. It's
Oh,
their own 9/11.
anybody that I
Take
know.
over a whole and just genocide women and children. They have to.
Don't care.
They have to create something, just like they created 9/11. Someone go to Afghanistan. I mean Iraq.
Yeah.
And just take over. They have to create these things because no one's going to do what they claim they are going to do. But continue. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, you said the I word.
absolute. But why? It's like, why are they even fucking doing all this at this point? I just want to understand the minds of these fucking Luciferians at this point.
Because we're in a spiritual war. That's their side of it. We're on the good side of it. So we're never going to understand why bad does bad things, but they're probably, in my opinion, in the understanding that their time's coming to a fucking end.
You know, my kid would watch Naruto. It's like anime.
Mm.
And the Guardians of the Galaxy is the same way. But it's like you almost understand when you finally get the villain to explain their side of the story. You're like, I get it. You're right. The world is a fucked up place. It might just be better if we reset everything. Like they really believe that what they're doing for the betterment of society and for the planet, for the world, whatever. And that particular TV show for kids, I think it's pretty fucking amazing.
It's anime, you said?
It's anime, and I watched every single one of them with him because I was floored at how it was mimicking the government. I mean, I guess all of these things are.
What's that anime? King Bao is, I think, Attack.
Oh, I know
of
that
the
guy. I
Titan?
like that guy.
That's my homie.
It
That's
is?
my homie.
He's so
Oh, yeah.
cool. I met him at
I can link you too. Easily. I can link you too easily.
He's awesome. He just did something on social media where he was like all cloaked and he was talking about how he was going to sue TikTok and like all of. Is that like a real thing?
It's
I'm
real.
banned.
It's real.
Nobody can find me.
He's got a book that just came out that explains how to be sovereign and how to go after these corporations that have stolen money from us and actually get money back and stuff like that. He's
really
doing a lot of stuff. But I think is there an anime, I might be wrong, Attack on Titan or that's what it's called?
Oh, I don't know.
So there's an anime called Attack on Titan, which is awesome. You should,
Oh, really?
because there's giants.
Oh,
There's
really?
Antarctica ice wall.
Is it Japan? Is it Japanese? Like a real?
I believe so, but it's kind of like
Attack on Titan.
the construct of a plane of the Earth plane with a wall surrounding us, and on the outside of the wall, that's where the giants live, the Nephilim live.
Amazing. Blackjack will lose his
A lot of
mind.
truth. He told me because he's like, there's a lot of truth in that they're putting on display there.
Yeah.
Revelation of the Method is like in an anime form. Technically, it's like they're telling us what's going on,
yeah.
what they're trying to do. I just feel like in my perfect world, the giants, the dragons, whatever's past the ice wall could come into our known world and just get rid of the evil forever. Just get rid of all these fucking people, because they'd be able to tell from the soul that we have that we're good. Here's the bad ones. Here's the one literally eating children and shit. They need to get the fuck out of here.
Do you
I'm so sick
believe
of
in light beings?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do?
I do. And I think
That's what that whole mural is about.
I think your audience,
It's just
some of your audience might castrate me for this, but I think Michael Jackson was one of the highest light beings that we've ever had.
Fuck anybody who wants to castrate anybody
No, I'm just saying.
thinking that the king of pop.
I'll give you one. I'll give you an example. Before we go, I'll give you.
Pop was pure.
Before we go, I'll give you one example. I'll give
We
you
need
one.
heroes, man.
I'll give you one example, and then we'll go. But here's the example.
I mean, I could do this all fucking day.
I know. This is a raw example of what I mean when I say that. So my grandparents, God rest both their souls, they both died in '98, lived good lives.
Oh, excellent.
This is the Hibbeler
bless
side now. My grandma told me a story because when I grew up, a lot of people's grandparents are racist, and you just can't control that, right?
I mean, my grandmother was an Italian.
I get it. But there's a lot of racism, and they don't like, especially blacks and stuff like that. Like I grew up in Chicagoland, and I was friends with black people, so I never understood why grandma and grandpa would say these things, or I'm like, they're kind of racist. They're weird. I didn't get real close with them because of that. But I do remember that my entire family loved, the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, everybody. And they would, if it came on in the house, it was like fucking World War III in their mind. Like, shut this shit off.
Your grandparents?
My grandparents. So
they were like really racist.
Yeah.
Oh,
they did not fucking. They think Michael Jackson probably ruined my family because like here's a black guy in the house, and like what the fuck's going on? And I looked at it from this perspective. My grandma told me a story. This is not too long before she died, and she said that she goes, "Hey, I never told you that." When me and your grandpa a long time ago, we're in Vegas and we're in the slots and everything, and out of nowhere they hear like I'm sorry, this is the beginning stages of it. They feel that something's going on to a point where everyone in the casino was looking that way, but they didn't hear anything, and they kept looking. Like you feel this presence, this energy coming in. No idea what's going on. They go back to their thing. Everyone's kind of looking around like what's going on, kind of like before an earthquake type of feeling, right? Nothing. Within a minute, you hear this roar of people just in the distance. And then a minute later, Michael Jackson's walking into the building with people screaming and running, that whole thing.
Oh.
And they're like, oh. Now remember, they hate him.
Wait, how old were they when?
They were this was probably late 80s, early 90s-ish, yeah. And she told me that, and she admitted this. Thank God she admitted this, because I love this story. Tell me why these two people, my grandma and grandpa, who hate him, completely hate him, and he's walking by them in Vegas, and they're running to try to touch him.
They were.
It's a light being.
Yeah.
Your mind shuts off because of the energy in the building. And then she admitted that she goes, we caught ourselves halfway going, kind of like stopping themselves. Like, what the fuck was that? They're trying to touch him as people, as you see on TV, they pass out and shit while Michael Jackson walks in.
Yeah.
And that's a light being. That's
His
a light being.
aura.
So if he has this giant aura and he actually helps children, he wants to help children, he's pure love and art, of course they're going to destroy that. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
They tainted him completely.
Oh, I fucking hate. I hate. I'm such a hippie, man, even though I'm not the hippie Psy-Op. Everybody calm down.
Hippie Psy-Op, here
I'm
she
like
goes.
the
Don't get her
real
started.
hippie. I moved to Laurel Canyon thinking,
It's beautiful out here.
I'm part of this. I didn't know this whole place was like the most fucking satanic place on the
Well,
planet.
aesthetically pleasing, but yeah, satanic.
I mean, supposedly they shot the moon landing up here at the military base where Jared Leto bought his house. So who the fuck knows? But I'm here. I heard that where this is actually sacred right here. So
Good.
Even though there was bad shit that happened in this particular place, this place protects the shit out of me.
Good.
Yeah, it's a.
Are you
this is
burning
a
sage?
weird,
Are you the one of those? Like, does it
no,
burn sage?
this
for
is
that
a
stuff?
weird vortex in this house,
Yeah.
and it's really fucking safe.
Yeah, I feel a very calm
really
energy
safe
here.
energy here.
Yeah, I
This
feel
was the
it.
Mamas and the Papas house.
Really?
Yeah, it was Denny Doherty's house.
Oh, wow.
And he died on my birthday, which is weird. Not the day I was born, but he died on January 19th, and my birthday is January 19th. So and we have the same initials. It was very weird, and then David Bowie lived here.
Nice.
So there's some aura with all these fucking people. And then there were nurses that lived here. So some lesbian nurses. So there's a lot of, and it was Mary Astor's house. She built it. She was the first silent film star to win an Oscar. And she built it to get away from her parents that were abusing her and her husband. They were all, and she built it to just have affairs in.
Good Lord, you got a lot of, you ain't playing. You got a lot of shit going on in this house.
There'll be a whole there'll be several Laurel Canyon episodes.
How long are you planning on staying?
I've been here a long time.
I mean, how long do you plan on being here? Forever? Is that your goal?
If the social situation gets to the point where people are really fighting the way they're supposed to.
You can leave California finally?
Yeah, I was told to go north.
All right.
Told to go north.
Yeah, follow your heart. I would say we'd love you. We'd love you to come to Texas.
God.
You'll be protected in
I was told by God, go north.
Go north? Well, that's what all compasses say. There's something there. I didn't finish that statement. The magic mountain that's in all ancient maps. Do you know what it's called?
What?
Where the actual, the compass is pointing to take you to this energy field where the Aurora Borealis comes out of and all this stuff. It's called Black Rock.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shocking.
Black Rock.
That they're all
what the fuck?
praying around their Black Rock and where is it near? Is it near?
Can't go there. Another restricted area. Just
that
like
where
Baja, just like Antarctica.
Paramount Mountain? Is it the Mount Herman?
It used to be called Mount Meru. Look it up. Because the north right now, if you pull up a map, when I was a kid, the North Pole was like ice. Now it's nothing, apparently. You put the North Pole, it's just nothing there. But back in the day, before they hijacked our education, the North Pole has 4 continents there. We're not allowed to go there. It's something magical going on there. And I think there's a reason our compass points there and we're supposed to go there. We're supposed to go north. So if you had this feeling of go north, that's what
my friends were told to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that might be one of the only strongholds when shit starts to go fucking bananas here. Interesting.
I feel good in Texas, so I'm good right now.
All right. Well, maybe we'll all meet in Valhalla? No.
No, thank you.
Can we just go to the Bahamas, man? Can we go somewhere warm? Why do we have to go to fucking Alaska?
They're probably spraying chemtrails in the Bahamas by now, man.
They're spraying everywhere. Back to the CERN, though, before we end. I followed my kids.
Yes.
To the CERN because I have a very bad feeling about that place, and I didn't want her to go on that field trip without me there.
It's an awkward field trip to begin with. What the fuck?
I didn't bother her on the whole trip. She was with her school, But me and my boyfriend and my son, we stayed in some hotels that I ended up finding out was the hotel where they organized COVID-19 with the Great Reset. It was where Davos met. So I'm in the middle of this entire thing. And while they were meeting in Davos, because that's always on my birthday, and which I think is all very strange. My birthday is the 19th, and I'm 119, which is 9/11 backwards. Just a lot of weird stuff. And I'm like, why am I always, all these symbols are always being put in front of my face?
For this reason, to speak the truth.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. But I
finish
followed
the field
them.
trip, I gotta hear this.
Yeah, I followed them there, and it's the only place. She never saw me, but I went from room to room that she was in. And I just stood in the back of the classroom. I was like, if this fucking child is going to slip into another dimension today, I'm fucking going with her, man. And that was the end of that. But I hadn't never been on a 12-hour flight in my life because I don't like to travel. So I did it for my kids, and because I was like, I'm not leaving this little kid. But I don't want her to not experience the world either. But Switzerland, the Devil's Playground, all of this sort of stuff. I don't know whether or not the CERN is actually built over Apollon or all of that sort of stuff. But I was there, and these are more rabbit holes for people to explore because they're a good time.
CERN, yeah. That's something I would need to
It's a 666.
I know. Oh, yeah, I see that.
They have Shiva the Destroyer in front. Some people might have different ideas of
Not my expertise to talk about. I mean, I know of it. I think it's my own ignorance to shut that off because that's scary shit.
The CERN?
Yeah.
Well, I think Tucker Carlson was talking about it, and his initial thing was shut it down. And I think Stranger Things is based on that, even though it was the Montauk Project, which is, a whole other fucking story. But I think the CERN is semi-based on that.
Well, if the Enlight Network, if we want to do a passion project on CERN, we'll include you in.
Okay, I don't know that much about it, but I'll do anything with you. I don't act in I don't play make believe anymore. I barely do make believe because that's part of the magic tricks they've been doing forever. So,
but yeah, for anyone that wants to look up the network, go to theenlightnetwork.com, see the projects we got coming up. We have a big debate show in Atlantic City coming up soon. World War debate with Andrew Wilson, Sam Tripoli producing, and
sick.
It's gonna be awesome.
Sick. Sam Tripoli's the fucking best, and I can't believe it's gonna be like an 8-hour debate. You said, and it's gonna be live stream
all day live, and about we're gonna have thousands of people there live and live streamed at home, and top of the top people coming into debate. So we're excited about that. We're just in the beginning stages, but by the time we have it up and running, maybe I'll come back on but I definitely want you to come to the event if you want to travel.
I wish I could.
You don't like traveling, though.
I want to introduce somebody or host it or say something or do something.
Maybe I'll find a spot for it. Why not?
We'll see. I'm going to film in Austin. I'll be at your home while you're in my home of New Jersey. I'm from New York, but whatever. People think I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be in Jersey. Hopefully we can link up again. But thank you for having me.
What is this conference you're going to today? It's about the climate?
Yeah, Climate Show's conference in Santa Monica. They just put together a conference of people to come, the public to come in and screen the film. We're going to watch the film with the public, and then they're going to have Q&A for me and the producer, Nate, to answer questions. And then we're also streaming in on Zoom on the Jumbotron or the screen, Chris and Megan, Ariana Masters, and I think one other person's joining the panel.
Yeah, what was it? Chris and Megan,
Ariana Masters. Oh, and Catherine Sari.
Are they here?
That pilot interaction.
Where do they live? Because I want to talk to those ladies.
Catherine, I believe, is in up by Sacramento. Kristen, I think, is somewhere in the Midwest, and Ariana is in
Nashville, I believe, somewhere
Tennessee area, somewhere around there. But they're doing the Zoom. So me and Nate are in the flesh.
Zooms.
We're in the flesh for Q&A
Okay.
after the film's over, and then they're going to be zoomed in on the screen.
You should be at the Malibu Film Festival thing that Del Bigtree is screening. He just made a movie about all of the findings from all the vaccine trials that they wouldn't publish, and he fucking went underneath it all. And
very nice.
Yeah,
he does good work. I made one project on COVID called Fluvid-19.
I saw. I didn't see that one.
My theory together regarding that, they just hijacked the flu. It was all at theater again. Same shit.
We're starting to find out so much information though about the actual fucking bioweapon and how but it could be the chemtrails.
Yes. They could put whatever they want in there, including, and it feeds the base of the aluminum itself. And when you breathe it in, you get sick. I mean, I wouldn't put it, you're going to put a pest in to do that?
Well, the polymers, they can wrap all the virus, I guess, in these polymers and drop it.
It's also landing on our vegetation.
Yeah. It's my obsession. Like the food, how to mitigate all of it. And it's like, again, I want to know why. Why are they doing it if it's not for the fucking ozone?
I agree. But this is, I'm glad you're going to start a podcast again, get the show up and running, get it out to your audience. I'm glad this would be the premiere in a sense, right? Of this new show. So I'm thankful for that opportunity, and I would love to come back, of course.
Thanks, because I'll fucking talk to you all day about all this crazy shit. I'll be a flat earther soon.
I'm not trying to convert anyone. Just look at the evidence yourself. Look at the films I've made. Make your own determination.
You have too many of the same ideas about everything that...
For me, that's stupid about Earth, right? Yeah, exactly.
And I
get what you mean.
Because I know people are, that's the one thing that they're just like, I can't go there. That shit is just absolutely...
Because you were handed the lie in kindergarten.
I don't want to
let go of my ball. This is my ball. I love my ball. Don't take my ball away. And that's what it is. But trust me, when you release that ball and let it go, everything opens up. And now there's no more belief. Like a lot of religions are like, we believe in God. Now this guarantees a creator now. This is no more believing.
Yeah,
This was
I'm
created.
open to everything, man.
All right.
I won't fall for just about anything.
Good.
I'm open.
I'm not trying to trick you in my films. I'm
Oh,
trying
no,
to
no,
show
no, I
you
know
these
that.
doors. It's up to you to walk through them.
I'm
making you.
interested.
Yeah. Good.
I'm interested.
And I will definitely come back if you have me on again.
All right.
And I'll
That's awesome.
come in person
Thank you.
again.
Really? We'll come back to I will tell you all about this crazy house. He's like, get me the fuck out of this
No,
crazy
no.
house. The lesbian
Do
nurses.
some seances. The fuck I'm like.
Well, my producer over here, huh?
Listen,
That's
I have a crazy David Bowie story about this house. There's a lot of crazy fucking stories about this place. People have felt energy in here. It leaves me alone. It's
we're going to save that for part 2,
Yeah.
and we're going to get into that.
excellent. Good times.